offering our collective salutations at the feet of Almighty, respected elders, devotees from around the world, staff and students. Good morning and welcome to Day 81 of One World, One Family World Cultural Festival. Tunku Abdul Rahman, the revered father of Malaysia, once said, "Every one of us must respect each other's rights and feelings, be tolerant of each other's religion, culture, and customs, for in diversity we can find real unity." These words capture the very heartbeat of Malaysia, a land where people of many faiths, languages, and traditions live side by side in harmony. From the golden domes of mosques to the serene temples and vibrant festivals, Malaysia teaches the world that unity is not found in similarity, but in mutual respect and understanding. For just as Malaysia's strength blooms through its diversity, so too can our world flourish when we embrace our shared humanity, when we see not strangers, but our dear brothers and sisters walking together towards peace and progress. As part of the Universal Wisdom for a United World lecture series, we are deeply honored to welcome Venerable Bhante Dr. Dharmapala, the abbot and founder of the Brahmavihar Monastery and Retreat Center, Malaysia. Dr. Dharmapala is a distinguished Theravada Buddhist monk whose life is a testament to devotion, discipline, and service to Dhamma. His spiritual journey began with a sincere search for truth, leading his ordination at the age of 24 under the guidance of Venerable Chow Kun Pra Raj Tamantara. With over 15 years of monastic education in Sri Lanka and Hong Kong, Dr. Dharmapala pursued rigorous studies of the Pali Canon, Abhidhamma, and classical languages. In 2009, he earned his PhD in Buddhist studies from the University of Hong Kong, where he also served as a visiting assistant professor. Dr. Dharmapala has since dedicated his life to disseminating the Dhamma through meditation, Pali, and Dhamma classes, and online teachings that have inspired and guided thousands across Asia and beyond. He also serves as a monastic advisor to the Theravada Buddhist Council of Malaysia and spiritual advisor to several Buddhist organizations. Venerable Bhante Dr. Dharmapala is a modern-day forest monk, guiding seekers across the world on the path of Dhamma towards liberation and peace. Brothers and sisters, please join me in welcoming Venerable Bhante Dr. Dharmapala.
Good morning, Namo Buddhaya. My respect to beloved Sadhguruji, respected elders, brothers, sisters from around the world. I'm excited to be with you in this centenary celebration of Sri Sathya Sai Baba in this beautiful world, beautiful hall, to share the topic called One World, One Family, One Heart, cultivating compassion and wisdom for a wise world. Before I start the sharing, I would like to start to recite Namo Tassa 3 times to pay homage to the Buddhas, who is the Blessed One, the Exalted One, and the fully enlightened One. Namo Tassa Bhagavato Arahato Samma Sambuddhassa. Namo Tassa Bhagavato Arahato Samma Sambuddhassa Namo Tassa Bhagavato Arahato Samma Sambuddhassa. Okay, so look at the world we live today. We are surrounded by so much conflict, division, and environmental crisis. We see it in whatever wars between nations and arguments, splitting our own communities. But perhaps the most heartbreaking consequence is what this is doing to people of all ages. On one hand, we have our young people, right, students and youth, who are facing a dramatic increase in depression, anxiety, and the tragic reality of suicide. On the other hand, our older generation are often isolated, experiencing a profound sense of loneliness. This isn't a problem that's fading away. It is a growing crisis, and it demands our immediate attention and compassion. And I would like to explore how Buddhism offers us a way to address these modern problems. As we know, the Buddha was an Indian, right? He lived in ancient India. And during his life, he himself experienced a deep satisfaction with the world. And this personal struggle led him on profound spiritual search, which culminated in his enlightenment. And his great discovery was the path to true happiness. And he realized that to eradicate suffering, we must first understand its root cause. And that's exactly what he thought. And this is why he came to this world to preach the Dharma for the welfare and happiness of all sentient beings. And his message was universal, offered to everyone without distinction of religion, caste, or background. And it worked. The people who follow his teaching genuinely experience peace and happiness. This is why his message didn't just stay in one place. It began to spread far and wide across the globe, touching countless lives. And this universal mission is perfectly captured in a quote from the sutras. Yeah, this is the passage. This is a quote. It says like this. It said, "Wander forth, O bhikkhus, for the welfare of the many, for the happiness of the many, our compassion for the world. Loka anukampaya." This is Pali word. For the good, welfare, and happiness of devas and humans. Let not two go the same way. Teach, O bhikkhus, the Dhamma. Okay, so now, let's bring this back to our problems. The Buddha thought that all the conflict and turmoil we see in the world is actually a reflection of the turmoil we have inside ourselves. So before we try to change the world, we are invited to first look within. Think of it this way. Those big conflicts out there between nations and communities often start right here, right in our heart, with our own personal anger, fear, greed, and our inability to understand one another. Here, a simple way to picture it. If your mind is like a stormy, churning sea, that everything you look at seems chaotic and threatening. But if you can calm your mind, making it as still and clear as a peaceful lake, then you can see everything with true clarity. From that place of calm, you can respond to life challenges with wisdom and compassion instead of just reacting out of fear and anger. So the solution to our inner problems is to consciously cultivate our inner world. This is a foundation for everything else. And that's our mission for the morning today, to discover how this inner world allowed us to help ourselves, and from that place of strength, help our communities and our world. Our goal is nothing less than creating a more peaceful and harmonious family for all. So this makes the concept of one world, one family, not just a beautiful idea, but a very practical approach to life. It starts with the peace we create right here within ourselves. Here are the main topics that we will explore together in my sharing today, in brief, right? And the first one is the core problem, right? It is a very strange paradox because even though our world is more connected than ever through technology, our heart often feels more disconnected. So we have to ask ourselves, what is the real root cause of this loneliness and division? Then we will explore the solution, which lies in two essential qualities: compassion and wisdom. And the most beautiful part is this: these two work together, they are inseparable. Think of it like this: compassion is open our heart with care, and wisdom is what guides our action skillfully. Next, we create practice for cultivating compassion, right? Get something very practical. So I will give some simple, everyday way that we can actively grow our kindness and compassion. And this can range from a small daily act of kindness towards others, and all the ways to a powerful meditation practice that nurtured our compassionate heart. And of course, we will do the same for the wisdom, right? And finally, we will bring it all together, from the Buddhist perspective. We see how this inner work isn't about escaping the world. In fact, it is exactly the opposite, right? So it is the most powerful way we can actually begin to build a more peaceful, wise, compassionate world for everyone. So let's talk about the core problems that we are facing today. I like to call it the connected world, disconnected heart dilemma. So it is a real paradox. Just think about it. With our phones, everyone got the phones, and we can video call someone on the other side of the planet in an instance. When news break, the whole world knows about it in seconds. Technologically, we have never been more connected. But deep down, Does it feel that way? For many of us, it feels like the complete opposite. Right? We see more division, more us versus them. Right? In our politics, our online feeds, and even within our own communities. So here, the core problems, we are a world that's wired together, but with heart that feels separated and isolated. So what are the root causes of all this? Well, the Buddha identified these very problems over 2,500 years ago. He pointed to a very simple but profound cause. That is our feeling of a separate, solid self. And it is that constant focus on I, me, and mine. So that voice in our head that says, yeah, this is my opinion, then what about my needs? You see? And these are my people. So that voice built invisible world around our heart. And it separates us from others and makes us see the world in terms of what benefits me and mine. And in the end, this very separation is what leaves us feeling isolated and alone. So the big question is, how do we break down these walls? And how do we move from just the idea of one world to truly feeling like one family? The answer lies in our inner cultivation. Today, I would like to propose a practical approach. We will explore how to nurture these two essential qualities. First, the open heart of loving kindness and compassion. And the second, the clear sights of wisdom. Now, a lot of us think of compassion and wisdom as two completely separate things. We often see compassion as something soft, just about being nice and friendly. And we see wisdom as something intellectual, something you get from books or being very smart. But in the Buddhist path, they are not separated at all. They work together in harmony. Think of them like two wings of a bird. You need both to fly. And there is a natural sequence to it. Yeah, almost like a beautiful formula. First, we cultivate a kind and compassionate heart. And this purifies our inner world. And that clear, calm heart is what allowed true wisdom to blossom. Okay, so let me explain with simple analogy. Imagine your mind is a pond it's all churned up with the mud of negative emotion like anger, jealousy, or fear. Then the water becomes very cloudy. You cannot see the bottom, right? You can't see what's truly there. This is a lot like how we often go through life. We can't see right, situation or people clearly because we are looking through our own emotional mud. Now, what happened when we sincerely practice loving kindness and compassion? When we wished for others to be happy and free from suffering, it is like we stop stirring the water. We allowed the mud to settle down. And this practice is what makes the mind calm, clear, and filled with a genuine sense of joy. So when the water becomes still and perfectly clear, what happened? You can see all the way to the bottom. You see the rocks, the leaves, the true depth. You see reality exactly as it is, without distortion. So that clear, undistorted seeing is what we call wisdom. So loving kindness and compassion are not just being nice feeling, they are an active practice. They are how we clean the lens of our perception. And the beautiful natural results of that clean lens is the ability to see ourselves and the world with deep wisdom. So, why is compassion? Right, the Pali word is called karuna, so important. And more importantly, how do we actually build the compassion? So let's be clear about what compassion truly is. As I said, it is not just feeling, right, sorry, right, feeling sorry for someone. That is a true compassion. The true compassion is what the heart active response to the suffering. And it is a deep desire to help. I was reminded of this yesterday when I listened to Sadhguruji. He spoke about hearing the desperate cries of beings for food, for education, for medicine, wherever he visited around the world. You could feel how that suffering stirred a powerful compassion inside him. I was very touched and moved by his message. When he sees someone in pain, right, he genuinely wished to relieve it. And the compassion that flows naturally without any discrimination or sense of separation between me and them, irrespective of caste, races, and religions. So here, I would suggest a few simple, right, concrete way to start training right in our everyday life. So we can start with the micro compassion. They are small but powerful habit. We can practice active listening. Right, when someone is talking to you, right, try to listen to them. Right? Really to listen. Put all your phone down, make eye contact. Don't just plan you are going to say next. Just be fully present with them. So this simple act is a profound gift. And it reminds me of our Avalokiteshvara Bodhisattvas in Mahayana Buddhism, who is often shown in a female form, embodying a motherly love that compassionate listen to the cries of all beings. Second, right, you can transform your words or speech. When we get angry, right, usually our first reaction is often to lash out. We say things like this: "You always do this. You never listen to me." Right? So a compassionate practice is to take the pause, a breath, and reframe it. Instead of saying you, try turning that you towards I. Right? Say, I feel hurt when these things happen. So you are setting your own feeling without blaming the other person. So this small shift from you to I can completely change a conversation from a battle into a connection. The third, perform a small act of kindness. Yeah, this is the simplest one, right? So for example, you can hold the door open and offer a genuine compliment, or help a worker with a heavy box, right? So you can train your mind to constantly look for all these tiny opportunities to be helpful. Then, of course, compassion, right, isn't about what we do, it is also what we don't do, right? For example, when we are seeing someone struggling, right? We choose actively, to help. This is also compassion. And when we refrain, right, in our precept, refrain from harsh speech, right? Even say like we get angry, the restraint towards refrain, right? The restraint from that harsh speech is also a powerful act of compassion. Then you see, beside this daily practice, small action, micro compassion, and of course in Buddhism there is a formal practice that we consciously send out wishes for all others sentient beings. Right? We can see the meditation and direct thought of compassion to all who are suffering. Yeah, so this is the ancient Pali phrases. The words like this, yeah? Sabbe sattha alabha pamucchantu. Ayasa pamucchantu. Ninda pamucchantu. Dukkha pamucchantu. Yeah, this is a meaning. May all beings be released from lust, be released from obscurity, be released from blame, be released from suffering. So, you see, when we start doing this, we are no longer just individuals. We are actively weaving a web of universal care connecting our heart to the whole world. So what is compassion? Yeah. At its core, it is a sincere wish for others to be free from suffering. And how do we build it? The most effective way is to start by thinking of someone who is genuinely having a hard time. Bring this person in mind. Just reflect on the simple truth. Just like me, that person who suffered also wants to be happy. Just like me, they also want to be free from pain, free from loss, and free from hardship. So you can gently hold this thought. Just like me, they also wish to be free from suffering. And you can repeat this thought again and again. Just allow the feeling of compassion to grow in our heart until we feel genuine sense of care and compassion arise. So from this feeling, we can extend the wish outward to all beings using the phrases we have recited earlier, right? Yeah, so this is a phrase in Pali. Sabbe sattha alabha pamucchantu. Ayasa pamucchantu. Ninda pamucchantu. Dukkha pamucchantu. So when we have practiced feeling compassion, right, for someone who is clearly suffering, we can deepen our compassion. And here are 3 ways that we can do. First, find compassion for people who seem happy but who have done wrong. Okay? Something. Okay, it's okay. So anyway, as we have just now mentioned about the practice of compassion, right? Besides radiating loving kindness to ourselves, to all the sentient beings, we also can extend, right, or deepen our compassion. And here are 3 ways to do it. First, you find compassion who are happy, but they have done wrong. Okay? Because their happiness built on harming others. And that is not a true happiness. So you can remember that they are probably troubled by guilt deep down. And even if they are not, their harmful action will eventually lead to their suffering soon. So instead of feeling jealousy or angry, you can feel compassion for the pain they are creating for themselves. And second, we can widen our compassion to include all living beings. Yeah? For example, everyone, right, is struggling. Everyone is caught in the cycle of birth and death, right, in samsara, driven by the confusion, fear, and the desire. So we have that compassion for them because everyone's, right, was caught in the cycle of samsara. And the third, say like if this compassion find very difficult, to spread, then we can think like that. Yeah? We can think that, in our countless past life, every single person has been a close family members to us, right? We may not know each other, but probably in our past, we were connected. We were brothers and sisters, right? So that stranger or that person whom we don't know, they probably was our once mother or father or brothers or sisters who love us dearly. So when you contemplate like this, it helps us find that connection and feel care for everyone. Okay, now, sorry. Okay. Okay, now, next, we try this, another way to practice loving kindness meditation. I don't know how. Oh, okay, sorry. Oh, sorry. Sorry. Okay. Okay, so there is also another way of practice the metta bhavana, right? Loving kindness meditation. It is very simple, right? You just sit quietly and send up sincere wishes for all sentient beings, right? You can start with ourselves first, right? The Pali phrase goes like this: Ahang averohomi, abhyapajohomi, anigohomi, sukhi attanam, pariharami. May I be free from dangers. May I be free from mental suffering. May I be free from bodily suffering. May I be able to look after myself happily. So, usually in this practice, we start with ourselves. It's very important because the true kindness, happiness for others only become possible when we can feel genuine kindness for ourselves. Often, right, we get angry with someone. It comes from the place of being hard on ourselves. When we direct loving kindness inward, it helps to melt that hardness away. So if we practice this feeling constantly, our mind will eventually become soft and tender, and this becomes the inclination of the mind bending to overcome our anger and ill will, right? So, and of course, you can slowly extend, right, that circle, to the loved one, to the neutral one, right, to the difficult person, or to all beings without exception. Every way, to all beings without exception. So this is how one world, one family becomes real. It is about seeing a deeper truth. If we think about the vast flow of life, every single being, the stranger on the street, a person in a distant country, even an animal, has at some point been connected with us. So they have all been a mother, a father, or a dear friends to us in our past life. So when we really understand this, it changes everything. So that difficult person, or that stranger, or that neutral person, they are not truly separated from us. They are part of our ancient cosmic family, and just like us, they are simply seeking for their own happiness. Or just like us, they also want to be free from suffering. So this practice directly breaks down the mental wall we built between I and you, between us and them, right? It makes the idea of one family, one world, something we can actually feel, right? Not just saying. So, what are their differences? Okay, what are the differences between loving kindness and compassion, right? Yeah, for metta, right? Metta, loving kindness, it is a wish for someone to be happy, right? It is a warm, gently feelings that you get when you see your friend or someone doing very well. Yeah, for example, you can say, I'm so happy for you. I can really, I can genuinely feel your happiness. Okay, so I genuinely hope your happiness continue. So this is a wish for someone to be happy. How about the karuna, compassion, right? It is a wish for someone to be free from suffering. It is that caring, tender feeling that comes up when you see someone in pain. So your heart goes up to them and you think, I wish I could take your pain away. I hope you find some relief, right? So for example, you see someone who has fallen and hurt their knee, for example, and you immediately want to help them and comfort them. So that feeling is karuna. It is the wish to relieve suffering. So the key difference between metta karuna is this. The metta say, may you be happy, right? Then karuna say, may you be free from your suffering. And these two, metta karunas, are two sides of the same caring coin. You can't truly have one without the other. So when you sincerely wished for someone happiness, you naturally also wished for them to be free from whatever causing them pain. Okay, so we have just now mentioned about the metta karuna. In Buddhist practice also you find the practice of Brahma Vihara, right? Brahma Vihara. Brahma Vihara means the divine abiding. Yeah? So besides loving kindness and compassion that we have just now discussed, there are also two other beautiful qualities to be cultivated. They are mudita and upekkha. Do we have time? What's the time now? 2 minutes. Okay, sorry. So, I have last one. I think we go to the last one, sorry. Yeah. Okay. Anyway, this is my last sharing, right? So how do we actually build this wise, compassionate world that we have talking about? The answer is simple, yet profound. It requires a shift, right? And of course, we don't start by trying to fix the world advanced. We start by training our mind. It is an inside to outside process, inside out process. Okay? So, just how we have shared, this is a path transformation. First, we set our intention, right? What is that intention? It's a conscious, I wish for all beings, including myself, to be free from suffering. As you are constantly practice it, the seeds of compassion will eventually grow. Then we act on it, right? We do a small thing, compassion in action, we listen deeply, right? So this is compassion in action. And the third one, as we do this, we observed, right? You can see that our hearts start to change, right? It feels lighter, less burdened by anger and fear, right? Then the last one, that clear, open space, the wisdom. We have no time to mention it, but anyway, that wisdom, natural flowers. We start to see the truth of how we are all connected, right? We experience that we are all part of one another. So the vision of one family, one heart, is not just a nice idea or a utopian's dreams, right? It is a practical destination. And the path to get there is the most courageous work we can do. That is the daily cultivation of our own inner world. So let us be the generation that stop just drawing talk about one word and start feeling in our heart. Let our compassion be the key that unlock the universal wisdom we so desperately needed. So lastly, I would like to close with a simple ancient Pali phrase. That is, Sabbe Satam Bhavantu Sukhitatam. May all beings be well and happy. Thank you.
We extend our heartfelt gratitude to Venerable Bhante Dr. Dhammapala for sharing his wisdom and practical insights with all of us this morning. May we now invite M.A. Satyanarayana, Trustee Prashanti Balamandira Trust, to extend our token of love and gratitude to Venerable Bhante Dr. Dhammapala. The One World, One Family song will be presented collectively by all the participants on the final day of World Cultural Festival. We kindly request everyone to return back to their seats by 10 a.m. after a short break, as we will be commencing the practice session for the song.
गणेशशरणं परमपावनं सत्यसायिनं गजाननं
गणेशशरणं परमपावनं सत्यसायिनं गजाननं
गणेशचरणं परमपावनं सत्यसायिनं गजाननं
गणेशचरणं परमपावनं सत्यसायिनं गजाननं
नित्यस्मरणं परमपावनं सत्यसायिनं गजाननं
नित्यस्मरणं परमपावनं सत्यसायिनं गजाननं
नित्यस्मरणं परमपावनं सत्यसायिनं गजाननं
नित्यस्मरणं परमपावनं सत्यसायिनं गजाननं
सद्गुरुचरणं परमपावनं सत्यसायिनं गजाननं
सद्गुरुचरणं परमपावनं सत्यसायिनं गजाननं
सद्गुरुचरणं परमपावनं सत्यसायिनं गजाननं
सद्गुरुचरणं परमपावनं सत्यसायिनं गजाननं
भवभयहरणं परमपावनं सत्यसायिनं गजाननं
भवभयहरणं परमपावनं सत्यसायिनं गजाननं
भवभयहरणं परमपावनं सत्यसायिनं गजाननं
भवभयहरणं परमपावनं सत्यसायिनं गजाननं
गणेशचरणं परमपावनं सत्यसायिनं गजाननं
गणेशशरणं परमपावनं सत्यसायिनं गजाननं
नित्यस्मरणं परमपावनं सत्यसायिनं गजाननं
नित्यस्मरणं परमपावनं सत्यसायिनं गजाननं
सद्गुरुचरणं परमपावनं सत्यसायिनं गजाननं
सद्गुरुचरणं परमपावनं सत्यसायिनं गजाननं
भवभयहरणं परमपावनं सत्यसायिनं गजाननं
भवभयहरणं परमपावनं सत्यसायिनं गजाननं
भवभयहरणं परमपावनं सत्यसायिनं गजाननं
भवभयहरणं परमपावनं सत्यसायिनं गजाननं
गणेशचरणं परमपावनं सत्यसायिनं गजाननम्
मथुराधिपते कृष्णमुकुन्दा
मथुराधिपते कृष्णमुकुन्दा
मधुराधिपते कृष्ण मुकुन्द
मधुराधिपते कृष्ण मुकुन्द
मधुसूदन घनश्याम मुकुन्द मधुसूदन घनश्याम मुकुन्द
मधुसूदन घनश्याम मुकुन्द
मथुराधिपते कृष्ण मुकुन्द
मथुराधिपते कृष्ण मुकुन्द
वेणु विनोदन पति रमणा
विनोदन परति रमणा
वेणु विनोदन पति रमणा यदुकुलभूषण राजीवलोचन
यदुकुलभूषण राजीवलोचन
यदुकुलभूषण राजीवलोचन
यदुकुलभूषण राजीवलोचन
पर्तिपुरीश्वर जय मनमोहन
पर्तिपुरीश्वर जय मनमोहन
पर्तिपुरीश्वर जय मनमोहन
पर्तिपुरीश्वर जय मनमोहन
मधुसूदन घनश्याम मुकुन्द
मधुसूदन घनश्याम मुकुन्द
मधुसूदन घनश्याम मुकुन्द
मधुसूदन घनश्याम मुकुन्द
मथुराधिपते कृष्ण मुकुन्द
मधुराधिपते कृष्ण मुकुन्द
मधुसूदन घनश्याम मुकुन्द
मधुसूदन घनश्याम मुकुन्द
मथुराधिपते कृष्ण मुकुन्द
मधुराधिपते कृष्ण मुकुन्द
वेणु विनोदन पति रमणा
वेणु विनोदन परति रमणा
यदुकुलभूषण राजीवलोचन
यदुकुलभूषण राजीवलोचन
पर्तिपुरीश्वर जय मनमोहन
पर्तिपुरीश्वर जय मनमोहन
मधुसूदन घनश्याम मुकुन्द
मधुसूदन घनश्याम मुकुन्द
मधुसूदन घनश्याम मुकुन्द
मधुसूदन घनश्याम मुकुन्द
मथुराधिपते कृष्ण मुकुन्द
अरुणारमणा श्रीगुरुदेवा
रमणा श्री गुरुदेवा
अरुणारमणा साई देवा
आनंद देवा श्री साई देवा
करुणारमणा श्री गुरुदेवा
श्री गुरुदेवा
शेषारमणा सद्गुरुदेवा
शेषारमणा सद्गुरुदेवा
अरुणारमणा श्री गुरुदेवा
अरुणारमणा श्री गुरुदेवा
भवभयहरणा श्री साई देवा
भवभयहरणा श्री साई देवा
साई देवा श्री साई
श्री साई देवा श्री साई देवा
भवभयहरणा श्री साई देवा
भवभयहरणा श्री साई देवा
गुरुहे सच्चित आनंद देवा
गुरुदेव सच्चित आनंद देवा
आनंद देवा श्री साई 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 देवा
अरुणारमणा श्री गुरुदेवा
Offering our collective salutations at the feet of our beloved Sadguru, respected elders, devotees from around the world, staff and students, good morning and welcome to Satya Darpan. In his last discourse, Sadguru began by highlighting two aspects of learning, theory and the practical. He emphasized that true understanding arises only when one puts knowledge to test, first through controlled experiments and then through real-life experiences. Stating that the Astavakra Gita's message becomes experiential knowledge only when one remains in tune with the self, in a state of equanimity despite undergoing challenges. Sadhguru emphasized that a seeker must develop strong faith in the higher self. While elucidating the fourth sloka, he stated that just as sunlight, though colorless in itself, appears as many hues, Ajnani too is neither attached nor detached from the world. They accept life as it comes and deals with absolute discrimination and wisdom. Sadhguru concluded by stating that although a Jnani may outwardly appear like any other ordinary person, in truth they are not. Therefore, one must not be deluded by their external way of life. We now pray to Sadhguru to bless us all with the divine discourse on the Astavakra Gita.
सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै शांति शांति शांति
Sri Ramakrishna Paramahamsa would say, Jitne path utne mat. It means there are as many paths as there are faiths. One can reach the divine through many paths. And in India, as we all are very aware, These three paths are very popular: bhakti, karma, and jnana. Of course, the fourth path of Raja Yoga, as Swami Vivekananda would also propagate. The idea of karma is to do action using the body, mind, and the faculties, but action should not bind you. It should be done in such a way that at the end of the performing of that action, there are no attachments to the results of the action. And even while one is doing the action, one is not agitated or one is not disturbed, maintains the peace of mind, equanimity. That is the only way to do action in this world. Any other action would bind us. If it is contaminated with the idea of doership and the enjoyership, then that action is going to become the reason for our bondage. Whereas the action which is performed selflessly without any attachment to the outcomes, that action will liberate us or will not bind us. That is karma marga. But it is very difficult to do action in this way. Doing action is not a problem. We are all capable of it. But doing it with the right attitude is the problem. So karma remains, but it doesn't become karma yoga. That is where most of the people, the karma yogis who try to be karma yogis, get stuck. Then you think of bhakti yoga, where your bhakti or love should be the highest. There should not be any desire in that love. It's only a spontaneous flow of the supreme love towards your choice of form or name as you think. And so Narada Bhakti Sutras come handy. They say it cannot be the bhakti of Arti, Artharthi and Jignasu. It has to be the highest bhakti of Jnani or the Para Bhakti, it is said. Artis come because of they have problems, they want it to be solved, so they turn to God after having tried everything in the world. Artharthis come for more gains, more desires to be fulfilled, more achievements, more ambitions, to be blessed by God. Jignasu come out of curiosity. They have seen some bit of life and they are not satisfied with it, and they are curious about what's next or what lies ahead, what's beyond all that they see, hear, taste, smell and touch. And that curiosity brings them to God. But Bhagavad Gita says, though all the three are devotees only, but they are not the ultimate devotees, because they have bhakti, but they don't have para bhakti. Para bhakti is that which does not have any conditions, which does not have any desires, which does not have any preconceived notions about how God should be, how God should not be. It flows permanently. It only knows how to flow. That is also very tough, because we can go to God, and generally we go to God only when we are in trouble. As they say, Sankatavaste Venkataramana in India. When their problem comes, then you run to Venkataramana, to Tirupati Balaji. Otherwise, we don't remember God. So that is the problem with bhakti, that how to make it pure and unconditional, which will liberate us and not bind us. Otherwise, fanaticism can start, orthodoxy can happen, and that has led to so many religious wars. And more people died because of religious conflicts than any other reason in the world. So that is also very dangerous if you do not do it right. Then Jnana Yoga is there. Jnana Yoga is that which makes you do self-enquiry, makes you reject all that which is not the self. Atma Vichara, Sri Ramana Maharshi's path. Who am I? Who am I is the question you must ask. And you must find answers to it. Maybe the first day you will find the answer as, I am so and so, the son of so and so, or daughter of so and so, doing such and such thing. These kind of answers you will get. Next time you ask, when you are evolving in your bhakti, in your jnana, you may get better answers. I am Jivatma, I am a part and parcel of Paramatma, and so on and so forth. And then someday you will find the answer that I am none other than the divine. But that is a long process. Suppose you end up with half knowledge, that I am a part and parcel of God. That doesn't redeem us again. It's better than not believing that there is a God that exists, or not having any attachment or not having inclination towards divine paths. It is better than that you have some understanding. But half understanding, half knowledge is dangerous, as they say. So if you understand that you are divine in some way, But you are not all the divine, you are small divines in some way, like Jivatma. If you stop at that, that also is not very good, because that will also bind you. And that is why three of these, Dvaita, Vishishta Dvaita and Advaita, come into picture. Dvaita is God is different, I am different. Vishishta Dvaita, yes, God is different, but I am also a part and parcel of it. I am made of God. There is some divinity in me too. Like a big fire versus a small spark. Both are the same quality, but quantity is different, is how they think of it. And the third, Advaita, says everything is one and the same. There is no difference in quality or quantity. Everything is one and the same. Without, everywhere only one divinity permeates and pervades. So the highest knowledge is of Advaita. But then there are Vishishtadvaitins also, there are Dvaitins also, who are also very convinced about their experience. So, if you are not completely convinced about your divinity and experience that, then your knowledge path also is not fully done. It can bind you. The Jivatma Bhava may bind you. But unless you experience Paramatma Bhava, you are not done with your path of knowledge. So that also is a very dangerous path, because it's very convenient to settle down with the Jivatma Bhava. You will get some experiences. You do meditation, you will see some colors and lights and maybe some sounds, some music and some visions. You will develop some siddhis of knowing what is happening in some other place, or your mind may be able to not predict but actually know what is going to happen in the future, and so many things. So many of these siddhas end up there with some understanding of divinity, and mostly they stuck with the siddhis and powers that come with Jnana Marga. So this is the other danger of being a Jnana Yogi. And Raja Yoga is about a combination of all these things, where you perform certain asanas to preserve your energies, and these energies have to be channeled through the Sushumna Nadi, not in the Ida and Pingala, not to be wasted through all other chakras. Only it should travel up on the Kundalini path and must pierce the ultimate final chakra of Sahasrara. So they have a lot of bandhas, they have a lot of exercises, lot of mantras, and so many other things that they do. And there is a Vama Bhaga also to all these yogas, Raja Yogas. Tantric people are there. They do all kinds of other rituals. These Aghoris are there. They live in shmashanas, eat human flesh, and only stay away from the society and do all kinds of very hard rituals to get rid of body consciousness and to dwell in the Paramatma Bhava. And they perform all these kinds of very, very, I cannot say gross, but very difficult rituals, which are very difficult for any ordinary person to do. It includes sacrifices of animals and even humans, or even cutting off their own organs and limbs and offering it to the divine, because they want to cut off their connection from the worldly path. They don't want to be attached. So they cut off their genitals, they cut off their tongue, they cut off something like eye, they even make themselves blind because they don't want to see things which will distract them, or talk things which are not real, or engage in actions which are not going to take them to God. So they punish themselves in a way, their bodies. Sit on the fire, sit on nails, sleep on thorns, name it, hang upside down from the trees, stand on one leg, all kinds of things they do. And even whip themselves to get rid of the body consciousness, to tide over that Deha Bhava. That is also one path. All these paths lead to God, it seems, every of these. And based on one's aptitude, one can choose any path, or a mix of the paths, whichever way. But what is Ashtavakra saying? Ashtavakra acknowledges that several paths exist to God. Several paths exist to the divine. But he says the easiest path is to let go of everything. Let go of bhakti, let go of karma, let go of jnana, let go of Raja Yoga, Tantra Yoga, Mantra Yoga, nothing you require. Just be. Just be. Believe and just be. That is the essence of Ashtavakra Gita. Believe that you are divine and be divine. And once you believe completely that you are divine, your actions will be divine, your thoughts will be divine, your emotions will be divine. It means karma, bhakti, jnana, all that will happen on its own. You don't have to do anything. It will happen through you. Why? Because you are so convinced. And why are you convinced? Is that because you have great Shraddha, you are Sattva Buddhiman, you have purity of mind, you have belief in your Guru's words, you have belief in the scriptures, an unshakable faith. Because of that, you would just believe that you are divine. And once you start believing you are that, you will behave like that. you'll start behaving like that. Yesterday I was watching one small episode of Malgudi Days. I don't know how many people have seen that. I'm like, those who are kids of 90s would know. It was R.K. Narayanan's very famous novel called Malgudi Days. It was wonderfully made into small episodes of a serial called Malgudi Days. It used to come in Doordarshan in those days. I was very fond of it. He would pick up stories of common man. The common man was the creation of R.K. Narayan. He was a dropout from the school, by the way. But he went on to do so well and wrote so many novels. And in Malgudi Days in Karnataka, in the village of Agumbe, there is a small place, that's where all the shooting happened, so they call it Malgudi now. And there is a museum, Malgudi Museum there, with all those sets and other things that were used for the Malgudi Days. I think children should go there at some point in time to Agumbe and watch that or see that museum of Malgudi. So this is a imaginary village called Malgudi. It's a fictional village where so many characters live, and he makes stories out of them. And one story yesterday I was watching is of a security guard at an insurance company, who retires, but he's always scared that something will go wrong. He thinks all these years he has served and not a single complaint has been against him. But he is always afraid that his pension will be cancelled because some complaint will be against, somebody will file a complaint, or he might do something wrong because of which he will lose his good name that he has earned. He's a simple, poor man, but he has so many worries. So it so happens that during that time, when he's retiring, he's been given a pension of 12 rupees per month. That was the pension in those days. And he's happy to retire, but he always worries that till the pension check comes, he's scared that whether the pension would get cancelled because of some complaint from somebody. So he's very careful. At that point in time, it so happens that our neighboring small girl comes whose doll has broken. The hand is broken. It's a clay doll. So she's crying that my doll's hand is broken and she's suffering and my doll is in pain and all that. So this old man says, come, I will set it right. So he goes to some place, gets some straw and other things and makes it proper, gets some paints and paints it. So the doll is now looking good and the girl is very happy. Suddenly he discovers a new talent in himself, which is to make clay dolls and clay things. So now he starts making clay model of the village, people's houses and things like that. And people start coming and appreciating him so much that you are so talented, nobody knew that. And one day he makes the model of the very insurance company building, which he had worked at. And then he takes the model and shows all the old colleagues, all the officers who are working there. But just then the big officer comes down, the manager, and he gives them a stern look because in between the work they were all passing time by watching this model. So this security guard, the retired one, gets scared. He thinks that he has upset his boss and now he's going to cancel his pension. It's imagination of his. And then he starts thinking that what a foolish thing he has done. He shouldn't have made all these clay models. Does it even suit people of his age after returning? Who does these kind of kiddish things? And he thinks maybe he has gone mad. That is why he's doing these mad things. And he starts behaving like a mad person, jumping around, scratching himself, shouting, yelling, all kinds of things he starts doing, thinking that he has gone mad. And just then a letter comes, a registered post, and he thinks letters and registered post come, in those days they would come only from lawyers. So he thinks that some lawyer has sent, he can't read and write. And definitely he's done something wrong and now he's not going to get his pension and he must have, he'll be punished or something like that. So out of fear, he doesn't open the envelope at all. He keeps in his pocket and roams around and he asks people, can you tell me what is written in this? They say, yes, of course, we'll open, read it and tell you. No, don't open, but tell me, he says. So people say, are you mad? Who can know content of a letter without opening it? And that, when he hears from many people, are you mad? You are asking me to read something which you don't allow me to open. He even goes to a doctor to get an X-ray done of the envelope to know what's inside. Doctor says, are you mad? This doesn't work like this. Let me open and read it for you. So don't open it, don't open it. That fear that something is wrong. And because he hears this, are you mad? Are you mad? Are you mad? He starts believing that he is mad. And starts behaving like he is mad. And everybody is at a loss to make him understand that he is just simply behaving. He is not really mad. But he thinks so many people told I am mad, so I must be mad. And behaves like that. Till he comes across his boss on the street, who says, what are you doing? Did you receive the letter that the head office has sent? He gets scared. He said, yes, of course I have received. Where is the letter? He said, in my pocket. He's all with all the torn shirts. Everything is, he's disheveled. So tells him, you should be happy that, why didn't you read the letter so far? He said, I thought you have punished me. He said, no, you have got a prize money of 100 rupees for making such a beautiful clay model of the insurance company office. Then he realizes, oh, this was all foolishness so far. Then he realizes that, but anyway, he decides not to make any more clay models. But the story, in R.K. Narayan picks up these kind of very common characters and how we think. So what struck me is that he starts believing that he is mad. Because people ask him, are you mad? You want me to read a letter without opening the envelope. How is it possible? So, are you mad? Are you mad? This word goes inside his head. Are you mad? Are you mad? Are you mad? And he thinks that he is really mad. Till his manager comes and shows him that he's got a prize and shows him the check that he has received for 100 rupees as a prize. So, how easily our mind gets convinced by negativities around us. That's why I tell our teachers, when you tell students when they are not doing well, don't call them by names like, are you a donkey, are you a dullard, are you this, are you dunce, are you brainless. Don't say like that, because when you say that, the child will subconsciously start believing in it. That is why Bhagwan would always say, when he gives a discourse, he say, Prematma Swarupullara or Divyatma Swarupullara, Prema Swarupullara. Always he addressed as embodiments of love or embodiments of divinity and things like that. Now, what an assurance that is. But tell me, this room at least has devotees. Children I cannot blame because they were not born or they were not there. So many devotees. How many of us really believed when he addressed us as embodiments of love, embodiments of divinity? And how many of us truly got convinced and started living accordingly? Not even one, not even me. Forget about everybody else. We heard it any number of times. He'll get up and speak. Embodiment of love, embodiment of divinity. Theoretically, oh, so nice to hear from him. How many have really believed in is the question. So Ashtavakra's path is very simple. I don't know, Bhakti Yoga suits you, Karma Yoga suits you, Jnana Yoga suits you, Hatha Yoga suits you, Raja Yoga suits you, Kriya Yoga suits you. I do not know. I only know that one thing that is the truth is that you are divine and you must believe in it. Once you believe in it, all these doing and achieving and rejecting and accepting, rejoicing and becoming sorrowful, all these dualities will just disappear. Like the fog disappears when the sun rises. You don't put any efforts. You don't go with a fan or you don't go with a broom to get this fog away. It goes away on its own because sun has risen. And everything can be seen clearly. This is the idea that Adi Shankaracharya gives. In the foggy morning, what do you see? You see some stumps of the tree, cut trees. And you think there are human beings standing. I don't know how many of you have seen that early morning in somewhere where the trees have been cut, only stumps are left. From far you think many people are standing. But only when you do a little more investigation and the sun rises and the fog disappears, that's when you see, oh, these are all stumps of the trees and not real human beings. So this idea, Bhagavan says you are the embodiment of love, you must believe it. It didn't need us to do anything. We should have just believed in his word that we are the embodiments of divinity. Yes, we are not up to the mark, we have so many faults, so many shortcomings, agreed, but we are divine at the end of it all. That faith itself could have redeemed us by now. Why I am saying is that what is the point in reading more shlokas if we are incapable of that faith, that we are divine. If we are incapable of it, poti padi padi jagmua, pandit bhayana koi. Nobody became a pandit by reading books. It's only through experience that one has become a true jnani, true person of wisdom. So idea is that whatever we read from here onwards also, if you don't fully believe in the idea that you are divine, all these are just Sanskrit shlokas, that's it. For intellectual purposes, it is very interesting. You can mug up the shloka, write quiz, maybe travel around the world with me. But then at the end of it, nothing would be the benefit out of it. It's all a wasted effort. So please be more sincere is what my call is. All the margas are okay, but this is the easiest marga. Ashtavakra's marga is just be. Just be and believe in that. Once you believe in that, you will behave accordingly. So, be, believe, behave. 3 B's. If you do that, you don't need anybody else. You don't need the 4th B, which is Baba or anybody. No guru you require. You yourself become your own guru. You are the light. So think like that. And now I go to the 17th chapter, 7th shloka. Page number 29. It says, Vanchana Vishwavilaye na dveshtasya chastitau yatha jivikaya tasmat anya aste yatha sukham. Which says, Vanchana Vishwavilaye. He doesn't desire that the world should disappear. Na dveshtasya cha sthitau. And even if the world is there around him, which means life is going on as it is, he is not hating it. He doesn't want things to disappear. Many of us, when we face with challenges and problems, we wish, I hope this just ends. I hope these people just disappear from here. They are such troublemakers. I hope this community, dissolves or they leave from here. We wish that world changes around us. But he has no desire that this Vishwa Vilaya, means he does not have desire that this world should disappear, because it's a trouble for him to live in this world. This world full of distractions, this world full of problems, this world full of miseries, this world full of obstacles and challenges. It's impediment in his path of divine realization. So he just, a normal person would wish the problems should disappear. But he doesn't wish like that, the Jnani. Na dveshtasya chastito, nor he hates when it is there around him. He doesn't hate anybody. He doesn't want things to be any different than what it is right now. Because he has changed himself. Whether the world around him changed or not, it is immaterial to him now, because he has changed himself. Our problem is that because we can't change ourselves, we want everything around us to change. We wish people would be nicer. We wish the people who are terrible to us just disappear or die. We wish all kinds of things. But we do not change ourselves. That's why we can't deal with it. Here, this person has changed himself from within. So he does not desire that the world should disappear, nor if world is around, he hates the world. He doesn't have such thing. He's sthitau, he's established in the self. Yatha jivikaya tasmat anya aste yatha sukham. Whatever he needs, jivikaya means means of living. He might be a teacher, might be a doctor, might be a driver, might be a gardener, whatever be his profession. He continues to do that because he has no problem with that. And why he does that? For the sake of maintaining his body and maintaining his family, whichever his duty is there, he has to discharge that. And therefore, such a person, dhanya aste, tasmat dhanya aste. He is dhanya means he is really fulfilled, he is really blessed who can live like that, because he yatha sukham, in whichever situation it is, whatever be the situation around him, he is happy in that. He is not complaining. So who are these people? They don't complain. Most of the other people, the moment a difficult situation happens, they'll start complaining. Why it is like that? Why it couldn't have been any different? Why I only have to suffer all the time? Others are all seem to be enjoying. Why such family only I got where nobody is nice to me? Why I ended up in such a community or a colony where everybody hates me? All kinds of things they complain. They're constant complaint boxes. Continuously they complain to God about everything in life. And they pray to God, let this change, let that change, and things like that. They don't change themselves, but they want everybody around them to change. But Mahatma Gandhi says the change that you want to see in the world begins with you. Not by changing the world. You change yourself, and your vision or your perspective, your way of looking at the world would change too. But we don't want to do that. We somehow feel that we are always right and we are the perfect people. Everybody else around us is not perfect. They need to correct themselves. They need to change themselves. They need to improve. That is the idea of common ajnanis. But jnani is okay with whatever it is. Yes, problems will come, difficulties will come, somebody will create problems, challenges. All this will be a part of life. Some people will be nice to you, some people won't be nice to you. That is how it is. But what does the jnani do? Whatever be the situation, he remains steady and still engages in the world and with those people only to the extent of he has to also fill his belly and the belly of those dependent on him. To that extent he engages. It so happened that when I was working, I had a conflict with one of the colleagues. And it became quite a bit of conflict. Then I did not like him. He wouldn't like me. But we have to work together because we are a part of the same team. And I knew that he's insecure because I was I was fast and I was quick in getting things done. And he was finding it very difficult to catch up. And things started turning sour after some time. That happens. All those who have worked in any team would know. In fact, with any other person, if you have worked, you would know this happens. That I don't want to work with them. So I started praying, I wish this ends. I wish he gets transferred. I wish he doesn't come to office anymore. I wish he takes another job. All kinds of things we think. But nothing was changing, despite my wishing so badly. Nothing changed. Daily conflict, daily ego clashes, daily that bitterness. Yet you have to work because you are on a project and you can't just dump the other person. I was very, very disturbed by that. I did not know how to deal with it. Because I knew that I am not wrong. Somehow deep down, not that I was arrogant to think like that. I really knew that I am not being wrong. But maybe that person does not agree to what I say or what I do. What do I do now? I did not know. At that point in time, there was a very nice client of mine, very spiritual person. He had seen life. He was almost like sannyasi. Been there, done that, an IIT Madras person, a technology expert, then done his business, earned his money, retired early, all that. So one day I was there. I was explaining to him, I am going through this conflict. I do not know what to do. Because we have got to work, but I just can't deal with things anymore. It is such a burden. So I feel like running away from the place. Then he told me, because he has seen life. You see, I was a young boy still, just into corporate life. So he told me, see, I would suggest like this, I would advise you, because there is no choice. So I also have faced these situations in my life. What you should do is, you both come to an agreement. I don't like you, you don't like me, we agree. But we have work to do, we will do the work and go our ways. Don't have to be overtly emotionally engaged with anything. Just objectively come, do the work that is needed. You don't like me, I don't like you, but as long as you do the work, let us do the work and then go home, he said. This is the way you should deal with things. Don't get emotionally entangled in, he doesn't like me, so how should I work with him and all that. You will suffer too. And similarly, a situation came long time and then conflict led to a big, huge clash. And that time, Bhagavan, I went and prayed to. I said, how do I deal with this? Because clash got over, everybody learned their lessons. Now you have to again come back Monday morning to talk to each other. Now so difficult to come back and sit across the same table because you have fought so badly. And there's so much of bitterness still there. You haven't forgiven each other. But life has to go on. And you have to earn your money, you have to run your family, you have to run your job. What do? Bhagavan said, behave as if nothing happened. Just go on Monday morning and behave as if nothing happened on Saturday. Think like that and live, he said. I said, what kind of advices these are? Nobody is advising that fellow. All are advising me only how to behave. Because I was Agyani, so I was wanting everything around me to change. But Bhagavan told you just go with the right, you go with the attitude, behave as if nothing happened on Saturday. Just go on Monday morning, start the day as if nothing happened and continue. I did not know all these things, how to deal with the world. But then I learned slowly. Objectivity, not subjectivity. Collective, not individual. Greater good over individual good. These are the ideas that you must implement. If you don't do that, even here you will have clashes, then you won't be able to come together and work again for silly, petty things. But as you mature, after 10 years, you look back and look at all these things and laugh at each other, saying, did we do all these funny things? And that was so important at that time, but later it sounds like so silly. Though this man has already learned that these things are silly, petty things. People are like that, they'll come and do things which are not nice. But you have to go on because you also have to live. Yatha, it says, no, yatha jivikaya. Whatever life demands, whatever living demands, he will go back and work here, no problem. Unlike our people. People harass me. Now it's less. Initially, please transfer me from this place to another place. Why? No, I don't want to work with this lady. I don't want to work with that person. Our young boys and girls whom I put in different campuses, they will write. I'm not happy. My senior is not nice to me. Who are the in charge of the campus, the older generation is not kind. They don't listen to us. They don't give us space. They don't encourage us. Any new idea is crushed and killed. All these they used to write to me initial days. I said, whatever said and done, this is what you have got to do, and you figure a way out of how will you work. Sometimes you let go, sometimes they will let go. Then I have to advise the older people also. Please, this is the younger generation. It is very fast. It is much more capable. You must allow them to express themselves. You can't stifle their enthusiasm because of your slow and steady methods. So, a lot of clashes in the beginning. Similarly, when new people joined the organization, some people were people who were insiders in the sense they were always living here. They had a culture. Then new blood came that had another culture. And then clashes started there too. They want it this way, those want that way. I tell you, managing people is the toughest job on earth. You can manage animals, you can train them, make them do circus. They will do. Human beings are just unpredictable. When they will be good, when they will turn bad, when they will turn against, you have no clue. And what will go right, what will go wrong, at what point in time, you just can't predict. And imagine if they're, egoistic and arrogant, it's even more difficult. Suppose they're humble and nice, at least there is an opportunity to go back and talk to them. But otherwise, they don't. And all belong to us, so it's not like you reject one and accept another. You have to take care of everybody, take them along. So it tested my jnana in a great way. Because you want this person also, you want that person also. Both are not just for the work, but that is their spiritual path. And anyone's path, if it's aborted on the halfway, it's such a loss. It's irreparable damage. You can never get back this chance. In a hurry, I make a decision, remove somebody due to something. Imagine it's lifetimes of chance which is gone. You never get back to this path so soon. So I have to be very careful. At the same time, one will be wrong, one will be right. But taking them along, so I had to find ways to punish in a way that which is the demand of the system. At the same time, be considerate to not let their golden opportunity to rise and realize go away. So for a petty, silly clash or an easy. So it took a lot of toll on my personal well-being also, because I used to get very emotionally stuck. What to do? Remove, keep, punish, not punish. How do I deal with them? So it took a lot of effort till I developed some sense of jnana and detachment from situations and started looking at things objectively. It means today you might have a trouble, tomorrow you must meet them again and must continue the conversation and behave as if nothing had happened on the previous day. Start afresh. It's not easy because mind does not allow that. Mind goes back to the past. He did this, he said this. You have to forgive all that, forget all that and continue. Not easy. So this was lesson that I learned very hard way during the last 8-10 years, especially with lot of new devotees used to come. They had huge expectations from things here, especially those who claimed themselves to be very old devotees. They expected everything to be on a platter and everything should be nice and too much of attention, demand on time. And I used to feel very pressurized and irritated. Sometimes I told Bhagavan, what kind of devotees you have gathered? They don't even behave like good devotees. They're so demanding, so arrogant. Sometimes so very unreasonable in their asking of things. They're not humble at all. I thought in 50, 60 years they should have become so humble and I almost self-realized. But forget about self-realization. They don't even realize that they're arrogant. If you tell them, that's it. They're huge egos. I used to suffer in the beginning. But I couldn't do anything because I was just supposed to be instrumenting things. And I was always scared because I was like a new apprentice, who's always scared where he'll make a mistake and spoil the experiment. So I was very careful whom I was talking to. Even if I don't like it, it was a bitter pill I had to swallow. Why? Because he wanted them for something. So like that I struggled for the first few years with people who were not very nice, but they nevertheless claimed to be devotees. And they were maybe, for him, they were necessary for doing whatever he wanted them to do. But I was not able to come to terms with them. I say, these are not the people I want to work with. Please redeem me of this. You get somebody else to do all this. I can't be one inside, one thing outside. Smile when they come, but deep inside I know how terrible these are. But all of them slowly filtered out. They could not stay. Actually, the crowd that used to come between 2011 to 2015, that crowd doesn't exist now. Only few exist in them. Many of them are not, they do not exist anymore. Why? Because of these issues. So first I was worried that I should not do something stupid and destroy everything. So that pressure, the burden of it in my heart, my God, I shouldn't say a thing out of turn or express my disgruntlement or my grudges, even in the slightest way. And when I smile, I have to smile a full smile. They should not feel that I'm just faking it, because they will start interpreting it and then they will complain about it. And who knows what is this mission about? I don't want anybody to suffer, or most of all, the mission to suffer. So I was always under this pressure of managing people. I could not live like yatha jivikaye. I could not live like that. Everything was a pressure and burden. The first 5 years was horrible for me here, because it was a learning, the steep curve. It was not given enough time to learn. It was very steep. Suddenly you are going up. So all these I learned, and that's why I said that I used to wish these people don't come here anymore. I wish those people don't turn out that day. I wish this program gets cancelled. I wish that minister doesn't come. Like that I used to keep sitting and wishing with him. But nothing happened like that. I had to deal with all of it. Even though I didn't like, I had to deal with it. And I dealt initially with a lot of bitterness and anger, but eventually I learned to accept things. And that is how you come to a stage, yatha jivike tasmat dhanya aste yatha sukham. Whatever is coming your way to do your job on this earth, to do your duty, you will happily accept and do it, even if it is not so nice and even if it's very tough. You will learn to accept the situations and continue. And still be happy, not that you continue but grudgingly. No, joyfully, happily. Knowing people are like that, knowing their limitations, knowing their shortcomings, you will accept them and continue like that. So after some time, I did learn to accept. Oh, these people are like that only. If they come, they will demand the first chair, first row. They will demand a special room. They will demand a special car. They will first want the interview. They don't want to wait in the morning also. 9 o'clock means 9 o'clock interview. After that, you give others interview. Like that. They won't even wait for 10 minutes. They'll enter the gate. They should be taken straight to Anandam. These kind of demands were there. Very funny. But then I was tolerating all of it for the sake of the greater good of the mission. But eventually, as I said, they didn't last because they were not here to do work. They were here only to just get what they wanted, that's it. And once that happened, they did not want to come back again. So this Jnani is very capable of doing this. There's a beautiful prayer called the Prayer of Serenity. And it says, God give me the serenity to accept things that I cannot change. The courage to change the things that I can. And the wisdom to know the difference. There are a lot of things we cannot change. We have to accept them. Otherwise, we will be miserable. And there are things we can change, and we must have the courage to change it. What I'm trying to do, we are all trying to give nutrition or education, health. These are not done normally. But we are trying to change. What is in our capacity, we are trying to do. The courage. And the wisdom to know the difference, what we can change, what we cannot change. So that is very important in life. And this Jnani knows this difference. Jnani knows what he has to change and take the courage to change it, and what he has to accept because these cannot be changed. And so he is able to live peacefully because he has the wisdom to know the difference. We don't have the wisdom, we end up with putting efforts to change things which cannot be changed, not able to accept them. And then we don't show the courage to change what can be changed. We don't understand the difference. So it will happen like this in our lives also. A lot of things cannot be changed, you have to accept them. A lot of things can be changed, and you have to have the courage to change them. It won't happen on its own. And you must know the difference between the two. That's why you must pray. That's why you must, either you should be Jnani or you must be guided. If you're guided by the divine also, you will know the difference. Otherwise, you should be Jnani yourself to know the difference. And when do you know the difference between the two? Even if you cannot know it right in the beginning, when you start doing it, you know the difference. What can be changed feels effortless. Courage is required, but that burden is not there. What cannot be changed, even if it appears that it is easy to change it, it won't happen. And you will feel the burden and effort, you will sweat it out, but nothing will move. And that is the difference. Effortless action is right action. Action that comes with a lot of effort, burden, guilt, conscience pricking you, know that those actions are not right and they should not be undertaken. So you can't change everything in the world, that's true. But you should know the difference, and the difference is when you start changing things, you immediately know there is a lot of effort and there is a lot of doership and a lot of burden that is coming, and therefore just give up. That is the only way you can change things. Otherwise you just can't. Now this is the first week of the month. This is the most difficult week for me, because this is the time when all the salaries must be paid, all the dues of the previous months must be cleared, and it's gone into a huge figure now. Plus all these functions that are happening. Generally, in any other month of the year, I would not sleep between 1st and 5th. I'll wake up at 2 o'clock, 4 o'clock, worrying about, are these finances coming? Are those people going to send the funds? I would hardly sleep. I woke up at 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock. This is my common 1 o'clock, then 3 o'clock, then 5 o'clock finally. And when I actually wake up at 6, I'll be so tired because I haven't slept at all, out of tension and worries. Because I had promised myself at some point in time that no salaries should be delayed beyond 5th. And I had to finally give up that promise because there was a doership in it. And it used to become so stressful for me that if it crosses 5th and goes to 6th or 7th, I felt so guilty and I couldn't pardon myself. As if it's all because of me, and without me, all these people are going to suffer and I have denied them their rights, and I don't know what all imagination in my head. And I would suffer for the first week of every month. And this was common. My acidity will shoot up, my blood pressure would go somewhere, I would take headache tablets, I have to take antacids just to calm my body and mind down. I have to suffer like that because I have somehow taken up the doership of the whole thing. But of late I have given up. So best of luck to all of you who are working here. I have given up this idea. I said, I will try. If it happens, everybody benefits. If it doesn't happen, that's it. What can I do? I can only do so much. Does it mean I've become lazy? Does it mean that I don't put effort? Does it mean that I don't plan? No, I do all the effort. Yatha jivikaye. Whatever is needed to be done as part of my duties, I do. But I don't take this additional burden and pressure, and my head doesn't burst anymore out of the tension. How? I said, if it's supposed to happen on 5th, otherwise 7th, otherwise 10th, otherwise 15th, whatever is decided, it will happen like that. So that has actually relieved at least me of all the pressure. Otherwise, very difficult to go through that. So I understood at some months, I understood this is not going to happen and accepted it. I know some people may feel bad, some people might go through some inconvenience and they are dependent on all these systems. So yes, there would be some people who might undergo some difficulties, but that is the maximum I can do. So I accepted that. The moment I accepted that, actually I am sleeping better. I haven't woken up in the last 5 days in the middle of the night and sat on the bed thinking. No, I have been sleeping and waking up only in the morning. This is surprising for me. Why? Because I was not like that before. But I am now accepted it. Okay, if it happens, it happens. This is the best I can do. I tried my level best. That's all. I cannot take more than this. Yatha jivikaye. Whatever is needed to be done for life, you do it. You don't run away from responsibilities or run away from situations. You don't wish them away. You don't pray that these dissolve and disappear. You accept. It will be there. These are the issues that will be there. Yet you learn to deal with it without doership and enjoyership. You accept and take things as they come. Yatha jivikaye tasmat dhanyah aste yatha sukham. He lives happily without any trouble. Why? Because he has learnt. As and when things come, we must do. And whatever comes out of it, good, bad, ugly, as per whatever the divine decree, it's fine for us. It's fine for us. So this idea is very powerful. That's why I spent a little time to tell you that what you can change, what you cannot change, you must accept both. And instead of complaining, this should be this way, that should be that way, oh God, you change this first, then I will do, all these ideas disappear. And I always tell, see, God puts you in situations. Somebody said, my God's will not take you to a place where His grace cannot protect you. So you will go to the places where God wants you to go. It may be difficult, but He is training you, teaching you. He is building you. And that is what the idea is. The diamond and coal both are found in the same mine. But coal is coal, it has no value. But diamond is so valuable. Why? Diamond underwent the pressure and temperature and all the difficulties, whereas coal did not go through it. I give the example of the stone statues. Yesterday we inaugurated 2 more temples. What was that statue after all? It's a piece of stone. But it underwent all the hammering and chiseling and cutting and beating. That is why it has become a statue today which we are worshipping. Otherwise there is one stone in the temple also on which we are walking every day, the stones on the steps. That's also granite. This is also granite. But this one we walk on, trample under our feet. That one is worshipped inside the sanctum sanctorum. What's the difference between the two? The stone which is in sanctum sanctorum never complained. It subjected itself to all the chiseling and cutting and hammering. That's why it is worshipped today. That is the difference between diamond and coal. Diamond became what it became because it underwent that pressure, high pressure life. But it became diamond. Forever it is now. They say diamonds are forever. Coal is not forever. Coal is only now. It will burn and disappear in a short while. So life sometimes takes you through situations for your highest good. And once you ask God, God give me self-realization, be ready for troubles. Because that is how you realize the self. Because we don't let go of our attachments easily. God has to snatch it, wrest it out of our grip. Unless He does that, we don't give up those stupid things. Like children are there. Somebody is holding onto a knife and playing. What would mother do? Mother will come nicely say, drop that thing immediately. The child say, I'm not dropping. Drop it now, she'll shout. Won't drop. Give one slap, still won't drop. Then finally she will wrest it out of the child's hand, right? Because the knife can cut the child. So when you ask for self-realization, be ready to let go of everything. And if you don't let go of it easily, it will be done with difficulty for you. It will be taken out of your grip forcibly if you don't simply surrender and let it be. So be ready at this self-realization. You have to let go of everything. The idea is not to gain anything. The idea is to let go of everything. That is spirituality, right? So be ready for challenges, because without that you don't grow. Without that you don't evolve. You will, the more you think, I don't want to meet with such people only will come in your life. I don't want to deal with such situations will appear in your life. Why? Because that is when you learn how to overcome that. You learn how to overcome and grow, not avoid and escape. Avoidance and escape this attitude doesn't teach you anything. But dealing with the situation teaches you without complaining. See, with complaining, no point. Then you are not spiritual. Despite all these things, you should not complain. You should not complain. Like Tukaram, whose wife was very upset because he was always singing the glory of Vittala and not feeding the family. One day what happened? His wife told, we are all starving. You are a money lender. You are doing so well. I married you looking at your CV that you are a money lender. You have so much of wealth and money. And now we have nothing. You have given away everything during the famine to all the people in the village. Our children have nothing to eat. And you are singing Vittala, Vittala. What's going to happen? He says, Vittala will provide. If he wants us to eat today, he will take care of it. Wife said, you have become totally useless and I can't depend on you anymore. Just as she was cursing, suddenly a man arrived with 2 bags of grains and told, this is sent by the Shivaji Maharaj, king, for your family. And the wife was surprised. How come? We didn't tell him. He said he sent, he remembered you and sent. So they were very happy. And she told, finally your Vittala has done something, this food has come, now we are not going to starve. This will last us 2 months, at least for 2 months we are safe. Just as she said, he said, no, what is needed for today, you take that much and give the rest back to the man to give it to those who do not have even today's food. She said, are you mad? First of all, by grace or by luck, this has come. And now I am 2 months of worry is sorted out. And you are telling, no, take only as much as you need for today and give away everything else. What kind of person you are? Yatha jivikaye. What is needed, do only so much. Hoarding, amassing, collecting. That doesn't occur to these people at all. They're free in their mind. They don't think beyond what is needed for now. Because they know what is needed is given today, tomorrow also God will send. So he tells his wife, take only as much as you need for today and give away the rest. What is needed for tomorrow, it will come tomorrow again, God will feed us. That is his attitude. Like our Bhiksha Vritti, Uncha Vritti. I tell them, give them only something which is perishable and only lasts for the day. Don't give them so much that they keep eating for the next month and don't turn up for Bhiksha Vritti next day. Why? Because we have enough. We don't need to go again asking. So that was the rule of sannyasa and brahmacharya. The vatus and the sannyasis both have to go around singing the glory of God and asking for alms. And how much alms can they take? Only so much that is needed for that day. They don't think, what if tomorrow I fall sick? Let me collect for at least 1 week's supply and then we will see. It doesn't occur to them. Tomorrow also God will feed us. That is like birds do that. Nobody is storing except these ants who keep storing things because they are very small. When huge rain comes, they all get washed away. So because of the winters or rainy season, they have to store. But most of the other animals don't store. Have you ever seen into a cave of a lion and found lot of animals stored there for next year and the next year and for retirement and all that? None of these they do. They are jnanis. We are the ajnanis, hoarding and hoarding and hoarding and then complaining about everything. So remember, take life as it comes, do what is needed for now and be free and don't complain. 17.8 shloka, page number 32. Kritartho anena jnanena ityevam galitadhihi kriti pashyan shrunvan sprashan jignan ashnan aste yatha sukham. Same idea. Such a person whose galitadhihi, whose mind has disappeared. I want this, I don't want this. I am so and so, I must achieve such and such things. I must be respected, I must be praised. I should not be blamed, I should not be challenged. All these ideas of the mind have disappeared. Galitadhihi kriti. The one who has dissolved his mind. And kritarthaha anena jnanena, who knows this truth, that life should be taken as it comes. And it is under a divine will that we are all there. And difficulties are also divinely ordained so that we learn and grow. Such a person whose mind has been dissolved into this bhakti, into this jnana, Such a person, whatever he does, Pashyan, sees, Shrinvan, hears, Prashan, touches, Jignan, smells, Ashnan, eats, Aste yatha sukham. He is happy in all situations. These are 5 senses, right? Touch, taste, smell, and all that. So, on all the 5 senses, as it is, he is operating in the world using the 5 senses, he is happy, he is not complaining about it. Oh, I wanted to eat something better today. Look at today, I did uncha vritti and they gave me some stale things to eat. Should have given me something fresh and nice. I wanted apple, they gave oranges. Nothing like this. Whatever they have given, I will eat it. That's why he is saying, in all 5 senses, he is satisfied. What he sees, what he hears, tastes, smells, or touches, whatever comes by virtue of divine will, he accepts it. Why? Because he knows this wisdom. Don't complain. No complaint is the policy. I will accept it and I will deal with it. I will not complain and try to escape or wish it away. These things don't happen. And why? Because his mind has dissolved now. Mind has dissolved in the divine. Doesn't even know actually, because if you have mind only, you have these differences. If you have no mind, everything looks same to you. Everything tastes the same to you. All experiences are same to you. So he doesn't get deluded by these external things. And this idea, I remember I keep telling from a Kathopanishad, that mantra, Yached Vang Manasi Pragnya Tad Yached Jnanatmani Jnanatmani Mahatini Yached Tad Yached Shantatmani. Whatever is there, our senses should be taken and put into the mind. Mind should be dissolved into the intellect. Intellect should be dissolved into the greater buddhi, which is the Jnanatmani, which is the divine wisdom. And finally, it should go into the Shantatmani, which is the self. So there is a way to dissolve it. You are too much engaged in the senses, which is what he is saying, Pashyan, Shrinvan, Sprishan, Jignan, Ashnan, then you are going to suffer. So take all these, put it in the mind, it says. Means mind should decide what should you touch, smell, taste, and things like that. Indiscriminately you should not do. Instinctively you should not do. Intelligently you should do. But then your mind has limited intelligence. So what should you do? Ask divine for guidance. Jnanatmani. And when you think of the divine guidance, oh Lord, guide my thoughts. I do not know what is right, what is wrong. How should I use my senses in the body? I want to do what pleases you and not otherwise. If you pray like that, the guidance will come. You will be inspired from within or in some way to do the right thing. And even that is not necessary. You become the self, completely lose the identity of individuality, and you abide in the self. You don't even have to ask anybody, because you are the very source of knowledge then. You are inspired every moment to do the right thing. Whatever you do becomes right. As once somebody was arguing with somebody else, and one of my classmates told Bhagavan that in the interview he was telling Bhagavan, whatever you speak is, whatever you speak truth and you do dharma. That is what others say. That you always speak truth and you always do what is right. Bhagavan said, no, whatever I speak is truth. Whatever I do is dharma. Dharma is not what I do. Whatever I do is dharma. Truth is not what I speak. Whatever I speak is truth only. These jnanis are like that. They may appear that what they are doing is not right, this is not accepted, that is not done. You may, in your limited understanding, may think like that. But whatever they are doing and thinking is right only, in that time, place and situation, that is the right thing they say and right thing they do. Because they are inspired by the self. If they were clouded by their personal judgments or societal pressures and norms and structures, then there is a possibility that they will do the wrong thing. But then when they are inspired by the divine, whatever they do is right. If you and I may think this is wrong. Why? Because our understanding is very limited. We are clouded, we are judgmental. Our vision is colored. We are stuck in those frameworks, molds of the society, and we decide this is right, that is wrong. But for the divine beings, whatever they do is right, because it is born out of love. It's born from a source of inspiration, and so it is right. So it's very difficult to judge them. That is why Bhrantasyeva dashasta tadrisha eva janate. Only another person of that stature would know what he is doing is right or wrong. Only one Rama will understand another Rama. Because Rama has been blamed for so many things, including abandoning his wife when she was pregnant with his kids because of Loka Pavada. And people blame him till date. And I have had arguments with those hyper, that's a bad word to use, but feminist. They were like, why did Rama do this? Rama was the king. He stands for dharma. What dharma is that? See, I tell, yes, all you are saying is right only. But look at the Desha Kala Paristiti in which he did. He has a Vyaktik Dharma, that is individual duty as a husband, but he also has a Raja Dharma, duty as a king. And always the greater good is the way of decision making. The greater good of the kingdom is the reason why he decided to let go of his wife. And you are only seeing Sita's misery. Why are you not seeing Rama's misery? He also is alone, right? Sita became alone, oh what a misery. He also living in a miserable life. He cannot see his children, he cannot be with his wife. And as a king, he could have married any number of times, who would have questioned? But he stayed that way, loyal to his wife. So nobody has sympathizes with him. Poor Rama, everybody is sympathizing with Sita. Somehow that story of poor woman pregnant with 2 babies in the forest, the whole narrative is very, very emotional. But think of Rama and his problem also. He also lost his wife, for whose sake he walked all the way to Lanka, fought a war, risked his own life. Nobody has respect for that. So I argued like that. Anyway, those people who are not wanting to understand, you can't wake up a person who is pretending to be asleep. So I could not win the argument, I left it at that. But what I am saying is that Rama was right in what he was doing. Krishna, somebody came and told Krishna is a womanizer. I got so upset. I told, you think he is like you and ordinary people like this? Do you know what is his stature and where he comes from? How he saved all those women? And he gave them refuge, because who would accept those women back? Whoever, in Rama's time only Sita was not accepted, because she was in the captivity of Ravana, even though untouched. These women were tortured by that Narkasura. And God knows how many horrendous things he would have done to them, who knows? Or his people would have done to these women. And nobody is willing to accept them back. Their fathers won't accept them, their husbands won't accept them. Where would these women go? He accepted them, and because he can't keep them just like that, he has to give them an identity, a name, a surname, so he gave them. It doesn't mean that he was living with all 16,000. How is it possible also on earth, you tell me? He had 8 wives, of course. In those days, wives were there, many wives were there. Why? Because men were always dying in wars, and women were left behind to fend for themselves. And they needed protection, so generally one man married many women, because women were not going to war. But somebody had to protect them. Anyway, he protected the 16,000 women who were in the captivity of Narkasura and gave them a name, identity, a refuge. You can't see that. No, he could have opened a women's shelter home. I told, that doesn't work. In today's time it works. In those times it wouldn't work. Some pagal like this, people come and eat my head. Why Krishna did like that? Then their argument. He used to play with gopis, he used to steal their clothes while they were bathing. How horrible that is. It is compromising or whatever, modesty of the woman is being, I told, what circumstances they were in, what was going on, do you know? They were kids, and kids do make mischief and things like that. And there is a greater idea. Krishna always made them forget their body consciousness altogether. They didn't even remember they were men or women, that is how they were. And you believe that he has done wrong. That is your perspective. And what is going on in Gopika's mind, what do you know? Each one of them, that day we saw one beautiful presentation here, right? What were they saying? They all wanted Krishna to be their husbands, even though they were married. And Krishna, instead of saying, oh, what a wonderful opportunity, so many women want me. What did he do? He gave them Atma Jnana. He became like their husband. When they were doing Rasa Leela, he took the form of all their husbands and was doing, and he will change from Krishna to their husband, husband to Krishna, Krishna to husband, while the Rasa Leela is going on. And they were stunned, they were surprised. Who are these men? And they said, that was my husband. They said, but I saw Krishna too. Was it Krishna? Was it my husband? Who was this person dancing with me all through? And then they come to a realization, Krishna only is the husband, husband only is Krishna, because there is only one Atma Tattva. And he made them Brahmagyanis. Through one little act of Rasa Leela, which to us it will look like some, whatever this new pub culture is there, right? Dancing with anybody, anywhere. It was not like that. He gave them Atma Jnana. The Gopikas became Brahmagyanis. So he had his own way of doing what he was doing. Who are we to judge is the question. We know very little. We only see from our limited lenses, Because, oh, this man is with another woman, how horrible, this is a scandal, this is this, that's this. Till today, Radha stands next to Krishna in the temple. None of his 16,008 wives stand. Radha stands next to Krishna. And whole world worships that. Is it not a scandal if one person's wife is standing with another person's husband? Today's time, put them in a temple of all the things. Not, you won't even like to see them in a photo together. So much of scandal will flow. But what Krishna did was wrong. We all worship Krishna, we all worship Radha because we know that devotion is pure. Love is pure. And whatever he did is out of that self, inspiration from there. How can he be wrong? So also they blame Bhagavan for so many things. Now I've been a student for so many years. Yes, some things on the surface may appear like, oh, this is right, that is wrong. But who are we to judge? What do we know? What do we know? Who are we? What qualifications do we have even to measure them up? No way. If at all, that's what Bhagavan says. Don't try to understand me. Experience me and be happy, is to say. Don't try to understand me. If you come with your own metrics, okay, he's an avatar, let us start. Number 1, is he having all the powers? Okay, yes, some powers, tick. Next, does he know a past, present and future? Yes, tick. Third, does he do this? And what are don'ts of the avatar? He should not be like this, he should not have a Mercedes Benz, he should not live in the bungalow, he should not have a private staff, he should not travel by jets and helicopters, he should not have different ashrams. And you make a list of don'ts. And then you put together and then give him marks. And you decide whether he is an avatar, does he even need your certification? No. Nobody needs your certification. Nobody needs your validation. If you can accept an experience and be happy, be here and enjoy. If not, that is your fate. That's all I can say. What can I? So many people came to Puttaparthi, so many people left. Because they were confused by all these other things. One day I went to a teacher and asked him. I heard like people said this, that. He told, people will say a billion things about Bhagavan. You go by what is your experience. You go by what you feel in your heart. If you go by the list of things that people say, this is endless. They didn't spare Mother Sita, what they'll spare Bhagavan? That was Satyuga, this is Kali Yuga. Don't go by all this, what newspaper says, what social media says, which person said what. That is their experience, that is their problem. This is my experience. I have felt divinity in my heart, I have felt the love and compassion and purity and kindness. Hold on to that, that is all. You see what is benefiting you. Why are you worried about what others thought? My teacher was very clear. He said, you go by your experience. Whatever you feel from your heart. Why do you need to borrow from others' experience? Because I said the 4 blind men who tried to understand an elephant. Each was right, each was wrong. So you go by what your convictions are. So these people are like that. They behave, they see, touch, smell, taste or do things which from a normal worldly point of view may look like, what is this? Why is it not like that? Why it should be like this? These are the do's, those are the don'ts of a spiritual leader, a social leader, an avatar, an embodiment of divinity. All kinds of things you may put in the equation. But none of these works. They are beyond all this. Why they do what they do, they alone know. What do we know? Unless you become that, you don't know that. Why he did that, why he did not do that. Stop questioning. I said, experience and enjoy. That is the method. Try to analyze and understand and judge and come pass your own verdicts. Not going to help. You will miss out the greater picture, the larger picture in all these little details that you get stuck. The pussycat who went to see the London Queen, you will become like that. That is why I always say, become that to know that. That's Bhagavan told me, you want to know me? Become me. There is no second way of doing it. Anything else is less. Anything else won't be sufficient to know me. Only if you become equal to me by becoming me, that is when you truly know who I am. And today, after so many years, I know. All said and done, all the externalities or peripheral things you leave aside. Take the core. The rind and the flesh, leave it. The juice. Juice is love. Pure, unconditional love. That's what he told me. Pure, selfless love is my definition. There is no definition to him. I am pure, selfless love. If you are capable of that, you will know who I am and why do I do things that I do. You don't have to question after that. Nobody would question after that. It's our limited prattle of mind that makes us think and ask questions. But the Jnani lives as per his inspiration. He is not bothered about what people think, say, do. And whatever he is thinking, saying, doing also is not bothered about, because everything is coming from a source of inspiration and there is no right and wrong over there. A beautiful poem of Rumi which says, I cannot really repeat that words, but it was a part of a beautiful movie. At the end he says, we will meet in the field of aloneness, he says. Beyond the rules and regulations of the world, there is this field of aloneness. In that we shall meet finally, he tells. Because all other things are not real meeting, means you don't really understand. That when you are the same as your master or you are the same as the divine, that is when we meet in aloneness. Means there is no other qualification, no adjectives to it. No ideas, no superimpositions, no upadhis as they say. In that aloneness only we know who we are and who God is. So that is the idea. Without that you cannot, you are using the wrong lens to look at the divine. So page number 36, 1710. He says, Na jagarati na nidrati, non milati na milati, aho pardasha kapi vartase muktachetasaha. He says, that person is not awake, na jagarati. So is he asleep all the time? No, na nidrati. He doesn't sleep also. No milati, na milati. Neither he opens his eyes nor he closes his eyes, it seems. Aho pardasha kahapi. It's such a wonderful thing to know the status of such a person, the way he exists. Paradasha kahapi vartate muktachesa, who behaves with a free heart. Muktachetasaha, freedom. He opens his eyes, closes his eyes as his will. He sleeps or wakes up at his will, like most of our students do. But they are not muktachetasaha, they are bhuktachetasaha. Can I sleep 10 minutes more? Can I eat a little more than what is necessary? That is bhuktachetasaha. But he is muktachetasaha. He is free. He decides what he wants to do. Nobody can tell him, you should have done this, you shouldn't have done this, you do it this way, you don't do it that way. Who are we to tell such a person? He is a jnani. He'll behave. One day he'll roam naked. Shirdi Baba was there, I've read it in Satcharita. He would suddenly get upset. He'll remove all the clothes and roam around naked in Shirdi. And others have to run behind with a piece of cloth to tie it around his waist, and he will remove that and throw it again and start walking naked. Who can control him? Some people he likes, he will feed them by cooking himself with his own hand. Some people he doesn't like, he'll take that firewood from his duni and throw at them. Some people he likes, he will put them on their lap and put them to sleep and talk such sweet words. Others people he use all the epithets in the word that you can think of. He would scold them with such terrible words. How do I explain his behavior is the question. And one day you are so sweet and nice and gentle and kind and so divine, loving, compassion. Other day you are roaming around naked, throwing stones and sticks at people and abusing them, using horrible words. What do I know? What do I know? What is he doing? That is the idea. What do I tell such a person? Hey, you are right now or you are wrong now. This is how you should behave, that is not how you should behave. Supposed to be an avatar, behave like this. Sit in Padmasana, don't move from there. And only bless everybody whoever comes. Who can tell them what they should do, you tell me. These people are like that, these jnanis, free. Nobody can tell them what to do, what not to do. So are they not sleeping? They are sleeping, but they don't feel that they are sleeping because they are always awake in the self. Their sleep is only yoga nidra. It's not a bhoga nidra that we'll sleep and we can't wake up, and when we wake up we cannot sleep. Our plights are like that. They do it at their will. They do it at their will, as they decide. We cannot do anything to them. Shirdi Baba was the perfect example of this kind of a jnani who does his own thing. And nobody can tell me, why are you sleeping till now? Why you are awake whole night? He'll be staying awake whole night, it seems. And he'll sleep at 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock in the morning. He'll be talking and talking and talking to that Shama and others whole night about all kinds of things, spirituality, great philosophies. He will remember so many things and keep discussing with them, and he won't let them sleep. It seems when they will sleep, he'll take his stick and poke them and wake them up and make them listen to whatever he's saying. Whether they understand, don't understand, they're interested, not interested, none of his botheration. He used to have a jula, he tied it with some rags on one plank basically, which he collected from God knows where, and he tied it with the rags, and he used to swing on that and keep talking. And these people who are sleeping below, if they by chance start snoring, halfway through, instead of like I am like this, if I say children are sleeping, you papam, leave them, let them sleep. No, he will take his stick and hit them, wake them up and continue talking and keep them awake till morning. And just when they have to go to work, he will go to sleep. Shirdi Baba. And those people have to sleep now because they have to go work also. They are poor shopkeepers or farmers or whoever they are. But he won't let them sleep whole night. They'll go drowsy to their work from there. Who can say to him that, hey, you should sleep at 9 o'clock and wake up at 4:30, then attend Suprabhatam, after that go for yoga classes, after that breakfast? Who can tell these people? Mukta Chetasaha. They do as they feel is right. Are they right or wrong? I can't even tell. Who am I to tell? Who am I to tell? As Swami used to say, one salt doll went to measure the depth of the ocean, it seems. How far it would have gone, you can imagine. A doll of salt went to measure the depth of the ocean. That's all our limited minds know about the Gyanis. And we want to put them in our molds and frameworks and call them right or wrong. Who are we to do that? That is the beauty. That's why I was telling the other story of one Mavduta near Gulbarga, who roam naked, never wear a piece of cloth. But one day a saint came that way. He cleaned the temple. He found some rags, made one langota, the coping cloth out of it, and was behaving himself. So everybody was surprised. What happened to him? He never listens to anybody. He doesn't wash himself. What is this suddenly? And then once the saint left, after 3 days, during which he served him with lot of devotion, he removed that piece of cloth, threw it again, and was roaming naked again. We thought some transformation has happened to this man. Seems like he has learned nothing. And then he asked him, you are anyway shameless and you don't care. Why did you wear this in front of that saint? Why this hypocrisy? He said, he was a saint. First time a human had entered our village. Otherwise, in front of you animals, why should I wear anything? Do we feel ashamed in front of animals? He asked. We reduce them all to animals in this village. Because they have no jnana, they are agyanis. They may be rich, educated, well-to-do, but they have no knowledge of the self. They are as good as animals. That is how these people are. Who can tell who is right, who is wrong? So before we open our mouth to pass a judgment on these people, you rather ask 10 times by opening this mouth and saying a thing, how much sin I must be incurring. So whom am I blaming? Whom am I asking? Whom am I judging? So this is the idea, that they seem to be awake, but they are not awake. Means their mind is somewhere else. Their mind is dissolved in the self. They're seeing, but they're not seeing. They're hearing, but they're not hearing. They're smelling, tasting, touching, eating, but they're not doing any of it because the self in them is not active, not engaged in the action. It's only awareness. And things are happening around them. Whatever is going on, it happens. That is why it said they don't open the eyes, they don't close the eyes, they don't stay awake, they don't sleep also. Whenever we have these paradoxical statements, you should know we are talking about Advaita. In Advaita only we can speak both ways. Neither he is awake nor he is asleep. Neither he is here nor he is there. That kind of things when we speak, opposite, Advaita is what we are talking because that is beyond the duality. So it can be spoken of like this. So this person's dasha, the state of mind, he says, Aho, how wonderful is the state of mind of such a person who has no burden of any doership, no burden of societal rules and regulations, and no dependencies on anybody. Why do we all behave, you tell me? To please others, not to please ourselves, to fit into the societal molds, to align with the societal rules. Why? Because we are desirous of their help. If I behave like this, they'll kick me out. Where will I eat? Where will I stay? These are our fears. So we behave. Mirabai doesn't need her husband, her palace, her food and security. So she behaves as she pleases. Akka Mahadevi does not need any protection of her father or husband. Doesn't even want a piece of cloth from the palace. Roams around naked all life. Who can tell anything to her? When I listen to about these people, I feel like I am bound actually. They are so free. How they were like Shankaracharya. Roamed around the whole country on foot. And imagine those time jungles that day, other day I was telling, how this Shankaracharya must have done this 8-9-year-old kid, starting for Kerala, going to Madhya Pradesh. And on the way, so many forests, please, Satpura jungles, Vindhya mountains and the Satpura forests are horrible. They're so dark that even today, if you enter those forests, in the daylight, in the daytime also, it feels like it is night. It is so dark and dense. And how you would have crossed all these things, how many animals would have been there, and villages were far and few, because today is very populated. In those days, population was hardly anything. Probably, I don't know, maybe 3, 5, 4 crore people across India. How he would have done that? Where is that fearlessness in him come from? In the dark nights, he had no torch, no mobile, no GPS, nothing. How did he survive? No blankets, no beds, no cushions, no warm water to bathe, no cooked food to eat. And if you fall sick or cut yourself somewhere, no cure, no ointment, no bandages, no treatment. How did he manage to travel like this? If you put your mind to it, if you just hear a story, nice story. Put your mind to it, analyze it. How were they like this? Because they were driven by this inspiration from within. And even though they were awake, they were not so. Even they were asleep, they were not so. Why? Because they are always awake in the self. So that status of such a person, dasha, what a wonderful one who is fully mukta chetasaha and kapi vartate, behaves as he wants, as he pleases. Who can tell him what to do, what not to do? This is the status of these jnanis who are incomparable. The next sloka 17.11. Sarvatra drishyate swastaha, sarvatra vimalashayah, samasta vasana mukto, muktah sarvatra rajate. It said sarvatra drishyate swastaha. He sees everything, sarvatra drishyate, sees swastaha, self only. Because he is established in the self, he only sees the same self everywhere where he looks. Because he is centered in the self. His vision is divine, so he sees everything as divine. Sarvatra vimalashayah. Everywhere his intentions are pure. His intentions are vimala, means pure, without any impurity in his ashayaha, all his intentions. Samasta vasana mukto, he is free from all instincts. Hunger, sleep, procreation, fear of dying, all these are instincts that we work for. He is free of all of that. If he is hungry, so he'll eat. If he is not hungry, he won't eat. Or whatever, just as it comes. Muktaha sarvatra rajate. And such a free person is always happy. Sarvatra rajate. He is always happy, always shining, always effulgent. Raja means also effulgent. But what it truly means is that he is joyful. He is ever contented, ever joyful, such a person. Who sees the same self everywhere. Sarvatra drishyate. Swastaha. He is established in the self, and everywhere he sees the same divinity. He doesn't see the difference. Sarvatra vimalashaya. In all situations he has pure intentions only. Even if somebody harms them, they have only pure intentions for them. They don't harm, they don't think, oh, let us take revenge, let us harm them in return. They don't have such ideas. Then samasta vasana mukto. All those instincts that we carry from previous lives, and those basic instincts that everybody has. Ahara, nidra, bhaya, maithunam. He is free from all of that. And sarvatra rajate. Because he is free, he is happy. See, freedom is equal to happiness. That is the basic rule. The more free you are, the more happy you are. The more bound you are, the less happy you are. That's the basic rule. Freedom is equal to happiness. Though anybody who is not free cannot be happy. And what is this freedom? This is the freedom, he says. He is free from emotions of, they did wrong to me, I should also wrong them. They troubled me, I should trouble them. They have caused issues to me, I'll also cause issues to them. No, his intentions are always pure. See, once a saint was going and all these youngsters were laughing at him, even throwing stones at him. So his disciples said, why don't you give them back a little? You have so many siddhis, powers, you can turn them into pigeons, cats, or whatever you want. He said, why should I do that? He kept on blessing them, raising his hands. Be happy, be happy. So this disciple got irritated and said, why are you doing this? Then he said, they do what they know. I have to do what I am supposed to do. Why should I change my behavior for their sake? I only have to wish everybody well. I hope everybody is happy and healthy and things like that. Why should I do anything else? That is the idea. These people are free from such judgments. And even if people do harm to them, they only do good to them. Like the classic example of the sandalwood tree. Even if it is cut with the axe, it passes on the fragrance to the axe also, which is cut it. So that is the nature of these people. They are vimalashaya, their intentions are pure. No harm to anybody. And vasana mukta, they are not driven by their instincts. They may appear, but they are driven by their inspiration from within only. Such a person, even if engages in the world, he is free from the world. He may run a business, he may run a family, he may do many things like other worldly people, and it may appear that he is also worldly and one of them. but none of them. He's free. He's doing the same thing but with freedom of mind. Others are doing the same thing but with bondage, because they just cannot bring themselves to that idea that they are free from doing and enjoying. So many of them. And I have seen Bhagavan is a classic example. He was so fond of his cars. Because it's our gathering, I can tell. He was very fond of cars. No doubt about it. At Jiva Prajna level, he appreciated good cars, and many times he has explained to me also which car. And he knew a lot about cars, by the way. He knew their mechanism, he knew how many, what stroke engine is this, and whatever the other, what is the power and things like that. He knew which is the latest, which is what. So he knew all of that. At the same time, if he does not need it, he'll drop it like that. He was interested in so many things. He was himself a very good cook. He was very, very, very perfect in his way of food, cooking and other things. Presentation. We had one cricket match in that time, and Sunil Gavaskar ji had organized that time in 1997. That time, how perfect he was, how everything should be. He had clear instructions for everybody, how everything should be kept in its place neatly, who should attend to whom, how it should be done. Every little minutest of the details he would get into. Till when? Till the match was going on. Once match got over, he forgot about it altogether. He got busy with something else. Like children. When they are into something, they are into it. They play as if there is no end to it. And suddenly their mind changes, they like something else, they just drop this and walk away. As if they never were here. This understanding, this way of living like child-like, remember? Balavat Dhiman, that word. His buddhi is like that of a child. Very interested, very involved right now, 100% into it. Next moment, totally detached. And gone doing something else. Like that, that ability to engage and disengage at one's will is only possible for Gyanis. Otherwise, people engage with something, they cannot disengage themselves, they get stuck there. And once they disengage out of whatever anger or irritation or frustration or disappointment, ask them to come back and do it again, they will not come. That inhibition. Ego. Gyanis are not like that. Whatever comes, yadayat kartum ayati, that is their method. What needs to be done? Yatha jivakaya. For your sustaining yourself or as life brings to you, do it and be free. And there is no insistence there that no, it wouldn't have been the other way. It should be like this only. And there's the idea of Atma Rikrati, Atma Krida and Kriyavan. These people are active also, but they are free because they are abiding in the self and acting on the outside. There is a difference between a Jnani acting and a man of wisdom acting. Both are equally engaged, both do things as is needed, but one is doing with the attitude of freedom, the other one is doing with the attitude of bondage. That is why the other day also some interview I gave to some country, they were asking, how can you run so many projects so perfectly? Morning you come and teach the highest philosophy of Ashtavakra Gita. So easily you tell all these great truths with such examples that it just goes into us very easily. Next moment you are in the hospital, conducting meetings for financial sustainability and the project, the next building and how to make it, operationalize it and how many people are needed. Department by department you are spending every single day you do that. Then you come back, meet all the guests, VIPs who have achieved great things in life, talk to them in their language, in their terms and make them understand what is going on over here. Then you come and attend a cultural event and enjoy that music, whether it's African or European or Asian or American, doesn't matter to you. Every one of it you enjoy, you understand all that music. Then you go and meet all these devotees, answer their questions, treat them so, and then you go to sleep. How do you do it? Once you go into Ashtavakra Gita, we don't want to come out of it, We don't want to attend to our daily duties. We don't want to get into these silly meetings and the issues of the daily lives. But everything has to run right. How do you do that? Yes. I told, I don't do it, that is why I do it. If I do it, then I won't be able to do it. I don't do it. I don't feel the doership. Yadayat kartum ayati is my method. Okay, now Ashtavakra has to be taught. Whatever it needs, 100% you give your attention to that. And do it as is needed. And when it is done, like the child, keep this toy aside, the next toy. You go and work with the hospital, you work with the people who come to you. These people are not necessarily spiritual. They talk about their business things and other corporate and political issues. So you talk to them about those things. Then some scientists come, there are academicians who come. There are singers and musicians who come. You talk to them what is necessary. Yesterday also the chief guest was telling, In your speech, so many things you told, you remembered everything that everybody had told, and you have done this for last 80 days, is it? I said, yes, every single day. And I have no paper, I have no pen, I have no notes that I make on the stage to go and rattle it out. Nothing. Whatever comes to me, I would speak. I speak from the heart. And whatever is spoken, that remains only for that moment. I don't carry it in my head for the next day and the next day and the next week. Whenever it's needed, we will again deal with it. Free, your mind is always free. That RAM, not ROM memory, RAM memory. That is how it works for a jnani. Practically it works. Because if it's not working, then how all this is working? Because there is no burden in doing. As I said, the only burden I used to feel was that, oh, so many people are dependent on me in the way on this mission. Their welfare is my responsibility. I used to get overwhelmed with that idea. Now, if a father has to run a family of 4 and pay his school's fee for the children and rent to the landlord and bills to the utilities, that itself tenses them up, right? By end of the month, father is in tension if he has just enough income to survive. So imagine for me, so many thousands dependent on this. How can I sleep peacefully? So I used to take it very personally and suffer. But now I have realized, Bhala hua meri gagri phuti. That's what Kabir Das says. Good that my pot has broken. Earlier I was carrying the burden of that water on my head. Oh, I have to fetch water, I have to fetch water, I have to fetch water, I have to fetch water. Now the pot is broken. Whoever wants, go to the river and drink. I am not carrying any water. Or you take your own pots and go. I am not carrying all the pots for everybody. Bhala hua meri matki phuti, मैं पनिया भरन से छूटी, मेरे सर से टली बला. Means from my head, this headache is gone. What is the headache? I have to fetch water every day. I have to feed and take care of everybody. It's my responsibility. The sense of doership, that burden of doership is gone. And bhala hua meri mala tuti. Good that my rosary has broken and all the beads are scattered. Why? I don't have to chant the name of Rama every day. Otherwise, I didn't chant 108 times, oh, I have sinned today, Rama will be angry with me, I will not attain heaven. All kinds of nonsense was running in my head. Now that mala is broken, and no more mala, no more japa. That idea of freedom, this person is free. Free from everything, free from this burden of I have to do, I could not do, then guilt and all that comes with it. Free from I did not do my puja today, I missed my one shloka, I forgot in between, my mind somewhere else, I have sinned, I will be punished. All kinds of fancy ideas these people have. None of this bothers this jnani. He is free from everything. What a life. What a life. I have some taste of it. That's why I can tell you with great joy that yes, it is a light and it is a free life. With all these running, if you can still come and you can maintain your sanity every day, it is not easy. It's only with jnana that you can do this. Ajnanis cannot do this. They will shiver at every turn. Only jnanis can handle this. As it comes, we do with it and be done. And only yesterday I realized when this person who had come, he told, do you speak every evening this much about all that has happened? I said, yes. And you have been doing it for 80 days. I said, yes. Actually more than that, but yes, consistently for 80 days. But by the way, I speak in the morning also and the afternoon and in between every time to different people. So they feel surprised, but I don't feel any surprise. I don't feel the doership in it. It comes as it comes. And if you can live like this, you can run this mission. That's why I said, this mission cannot be run by bhogis. This cannot be run even by tyagis. It has to be run by yogis only, jnanis only. Others cannot do justice to this job. Only a jnani can do a justice to all this that is happening. So 41 also is similar. Page number 41, shloka number 12. Pashyan shrunvan spashan jignan ashnan grihan vadan vrajan ihita anihitaiha mukto mukta eva mahashayaha. It says, same idea. Pashyan means to see, shrunvan to hear, sprashan to touch, jignan to smell, ashnan to eat, grihan to receive, vadan to say, vrajan to move. In all the activities of the world, ihita, anihita means this is favorable, that is unfavorable. This is good for me, that is bad. This is right and that is wrong. All these dualities do not exist in this person. He is free, mukto, muktaha from these ihita, anihita, muktaha, mukta eva mahashaya. Such a person is free and mahashaya, of great disposition of mind. He is a great one, mahashaya, who In all these activities also, he has no idea or no feeling that this is right, this is good, that is wrong, that is not good, this is favorable to me, that is not favorable to me, therefore I should do this, I should avoid that. See, such calculations don't exist in such a person who is ever free, never bound by anything. And that is not easy to come by, as I said. You'll have to overcome a lot of challenges of your mind which will keep coming in your way and keep advising you wrongly. How can you do this? You should keep something for yourself. What about your future? What about your safety? What about your security? What about your name? What about your credit? What about this? What about that? It keeps chattering all the time. Mind. And confusing you. But the one who has freed himself of all the activities and the idea of wrong and right, the idea of gain and loss, the idea of success or failure, such a person can achieve anything. He has no fear left. He is free. If we fail, so about it. No, people will talk 100 things, let them talk. If we win, we will be praised. Okay, let it be. Both ways is okay. We will try. That's why when we are doing the medical school also, how many people have advised us, don't do a free medical school. You don't know what you are getting into. I said, I also don't know what I am getting into, but I know that this needs to be done. Somebody needs to done. No, you have no idea, you better take some caution, this, you do that. So many unnecessary, unsolicited advice from well-wishers only. They are concerned about us, so they are saying things. I agreed. But I said, I know this has to be done. And it will be done. And I told that time also, it will be done much before even we started the building. I told medical college will come, it will be done, this will be its name, and the Prime Minister will come inaugurate. Imagine a village where nobody had come. The Chief Minister only came after 50 years here. And Prime Minister comes. And so all of a sudden I go on some 2nd or 3rd of March, I think. I get an appointment before leaving for the Europe trip. And I tell him, you come, and he says, when should I come? Before the Karnataka elections happen, you should come. Karnataka elections will start happening from the end of May. Means all the preparations. So he just comes. And who decided this? I say I myself did not decide. It was decided. I was only telling what was decided, that's all. I was telling what was meant to happen. Everything happens like this. If you have pure intentions, Vimala Shayaha, your intentions are pure, selfless. Everything happens as per the divine will. And no pressure. No pressure. Even now, people are continuously asking me, so is the Prime Minister coming? What happened? You met? Is he given you a date? I told her, no dates are there. Either he comes or not, we will see. If he comes, we will prepare. If he doesn't come now, we will be okay. We will see another time. No, how can you say like that? What should I do? I have already booked my ticket. It was on discount. Now I have to rebook. It will be... I told, that is not my problem. Oh, you should have told us before. We could have... I can tell you only what I know as of now. I am not here to look into some crystal ball and tell you all kinds of things. I am here to do what is required. If you want to come, come. No, but if I have to cancel this ticket and rebook another ticket, this is a non-refundable. I asked you before, then we would have booked a refundable ticket. I told, what you are bothering me with this silly for $200 this way, that way you are bothering me for half an hour. You should have told me if Prime Minister's date was not fixed, we would have taken a refundable ticket. Maybe it was slightly extra, but we could have changed the ticket. Now we have taken non-refundable. If we change that, all the ticket money will go. What should I do? So can you just look into your divine thing and tell whether Prime Minister is coming? There are people like this on this earth, in our groups. You can imagine what they are like. I don't know still. I don't want to know also. If it happens, I will let you know. If you find a ticket, come. If you don't find a ticket, watch it on YouTube. What else I can tell? It will save you all the money on earth. I can only do so much. And why should I take the burden of unnecessary saving them $200? For that sake, I have to do this circus. I said, no. What is this? So people are like that, But I always, now I have given up. This Ashtavakra has helped me more because all these I have read before and I have experienced also. It has reinforced the ideas in me. It has made it even stronger and clearer. So I don't know whether you benefited from this, but I have benefited tremendously. As they say, when one teaches, two learn. So I have relearned all the concepts of Ashtavakra Gita. Whether you learnt or not, that is your problem. But I have definitely benefited from doing this Ashtavakra class. All right, I have run out of time. I will look into the other shlokas later. I don't think we can finish the entire Ashtavakra shloka by shloka, even the next one. Probably I'll give you an assignment of the last chapter, which is more like a summary. So when we reach there, I will tell them to do it yourself, because you have already, you know all the concepts. You don't need to know anything new. Imagine, truth is only one. In so many shlokas, Ashtavakra has said. And imagine my plight, I have to make it interesting in every class. I am speaking the same thing, but I cannot let you feel bored about it, right? So that is how it works. But whatever needs to come, it comes. My idea is that we must develop this complete firm belief. See, if you don't believe, you are wasting everybody's time. And that belief should be firm, and in next situation, then things change and they are not as favorable, and suddenly your convictions are all shaken. That is not the way it works. It should go deep into the wall. Like Bhagavan used to say, you hammer a nail, you should hammer it deep into the wall, so that when you hang the portrait, it does not fall, it is not shaky. So our belief in this truth cannot be shaky. Simply believe, and you will see your behavior will start changing. Your tastes will change. What you used to love, like, and get excited about would no more be the same. The same friends, the same situations, the same circumstances, the same things won't appeal to you anymore, because you have changed from inside. And that change will change the outside also. So good for you, it's good for you. You have to let go of the old to get the new. You can't wear the old clothes and also the new clothes on top of it. You have to remove the old clothes so that you can wear the new clothes. Likewise, you remove your old habits, old ideas, old convictions, and get the new ones in place. You can't have this also, that also. You can't hold on to both. So that is the idea. You can't hold on to your idea as a body if you want to really abide in the self. And that is possible. As I said, these people also act in the world, but they act even better. They are more perfect than the normal people. Why? Because they are acting from inspiration. Everything goes right for them. Nothing goes wrong. And what apparently looks as wrong from the worldly point of view, that is also right in their view, because that is also divinely inspired. So no wrong happens through them or to them. Whatever happens is right only, because they are living an inspired life of a jnani. One song I remembered, actually I had kept another shloka for it, but anyways, the song is see, human beings are generally greedy. So God told them, you should practice charity. Gods are generally very powerful and arrogant. So God told them, you practice restraint. And demons are generally cruel and selfish. So God told them, you practice compassion. So these three things, when all the three humans, demons and gods went to Brahma, the Prajapati, the creator, their father, he only said one word, Da. The humans understood what is Da. They said, Da for you is Datta, means to give. Because human beings are greedy by nature. You have to overcome that by charity. When gods went and said, what is Da, he asked, they said, Da means Dhamyata, means restraint. Because gods are powerful, they can misuse their powers. They should never do that, so control, restrain. And the demons, when they went, he told Da, and they understood as Daya, Dayadhvam. It means practice compassion, because they are cruel by nature. So when you deal with these Kama, Krodha, Lobha, the antidote is Dhamyata, Datta, and Dayadhvam. And there was a song that Sri Kanchi Paramacharya composed and was sung by Sri MS Subbalakshmi in the United Nations in 1996. It was very much appreciated, which talks about how one should live. And today, the way the world is in conflict, seems like people are again started testing their nuclear weapons and making new nuclear power centers. And everybody is giving excuse, the other is doing, so I will also do. These 5-6 nuclear nations have restarted this drama. So I do not know what's the future, but then this song in 1996 said, let us give up wars and conflicts. Let us see ourselves in everyone. Let us be kind to each other, and let good happen to everybody by practice of these values of charity, compassion, and control or restraint. So that is the song that they will sing.
मैत्रीं भजत अखिलहृजेत्रीं मैत्रीं भजत अखिलहृजेत्रीं मैत्रीं भजत अखिलहृजेत्रीं मैत्रीं भजत अखिलहृजेत्रीं आत्मवदेव परानपि पश्यत आत्मवदेव परानपि पश्यत युद्धं त्यजत स्पर्धां त्यजत युद्धं त्यजत स्पर्धां त्यजत त्यजत परेषु अक्रममाक्रमणम् त्यजत परेषु अक्रममाक्रमणम् मैत्रीं भजत अखिलहृजेत्रीं मैत्रीं भजत अखिलहृजेत्रीं जननी पृथिवी कामुदघास्ते जननी पृथिवी कामदुघास्ते जनको देवः सकलदयालो जनको देवः सकलदयालु जननी पृथिवी कामदुघास्ते जननी पृथिवी कामदुघास्ते जनको देवः सकलदयालुः जनको देवः सकलदयालुः दाम्यत दत्तादयध्वं जनताः दाम्यत दत्तादयध्वं जनता श्रेयो भूयात् सकलजनानां 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 श्रेयो भूयात्
सर्वसुगुणसिन्धवे सकलसुजनबन्धवे सर्वसुगुणसिन्धवे सकलसुजनबन्धवे गुरवे मधुसूदनाय महितमङ्गलम् सद्गुरवे मधुसूदनाय महितमङ्गलम् दीनदुःखितपोषकाय दानधर्मप्रेरकाय दीनदुःखितपोषकाय दानधर्म सर्वलोकहितरताय सर्वमङ्गलम् सद्गुरवे मधुसूदनाय महितमङ्गलम् वेदनादवर्धकाय विश्वशान्तिस्थापकाय
वेदनादवर्धकाय
विश्वशान्तिस्थापकाय ब्रह्मज्ञानबोधकाय दिव्यमङ्गलम् सद्गुरवे मधुसूदनाय महितमङ्गलम् सत्यसायिनः प्रियाय सत्यप्रेमविग्रहाय सत्यसायिनः प्रियाय सत्यप्रेमविग्रहाय नित्यशुद्धनिर्मलाय नित्यमङ्गलम् सद्गुरवे मधुसूदनाय दिव्यमङ्गलम् सद्गुरवे मधुसूदनाय महितमङ्गलम् ॐ जय जगदीश हरे स्वामी सत्य साई हरे भक्तजना संरक्षक भक्तजना संरक्षक पति महेश्वर ॐ जय जगदीश हरे श्रीवदना श्रीकरा सर्वा प्राणपते स्वामी सर्वा प्राणपते आश्रितकल्पलतिका आश्रितकल्पलतिका आपद्बान्धव ॐ जय जगदीश हरे मातपिता गुरुदैवं मर्यन्तयुनीवे स्वामी मर्यन्तयुनीवे नाद ब्रह्म जगन्नाथा नाद ब्रह्म जगन्नाथा नागेन्द्राशयन ॐ जय जगदीश हरे ओंकाररूप ओजस्वी साई महादेव सद्गुरु साई महादेवा मंगलहारति अंदुको मंगलहारति अंदुको मंगलगिरिधारी ॐ जय जगदीश हरे नारायण नारायण ॐ सत्यनारायण नारायण नारायण ॐ नारायण नारायण ॐ सत्यनारायण नारायण ॐ सत्यनारायण नारायण ॐ जय सद्गुरुदेवा नारायण नारायण ॐ सत्यनारायण नारायण नारायण ॐ नारायण नारायण ॐ सत्यनारायण नारायण सत्यनारायण नारायण ॐ जय सद्गुरुदेवा नारायण नारायण ॐ सत्यनारायण नारायण नारायण ॐ नारायण नारायण ॐ सत्यनारायण नारायण ॐ सत्यनारायण नारायण ॐ जय शांति 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 समस्त लोका सुखिनो भवन्तु समस्त लोका सुखिनो भवन्तु समस्त लोका सुखिनो भवन्तु शान्ति शान्ति शान्ति
जय बोलो भगवान श्री सत्य साई बाबा जी की जय बोलो सद्गुरु श्री मधुसूदन साई